a very popular karaoke classic. And if you know the words, feel free to sing along, and feel free to do the audience participation of this one. So, here we go. Where it began, I can't begin to know it, but then I know it's growing strong. Was in the spring, and spring became the summer. Who'd have believed you'd come along? Hands, touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline, ba ba ba. Good times never seem so good, so good, so good, so good. I've been inclined to believe they never would, but now I look at the night and it don't seem so lonely. We fill it up with only two. And when I hurt, burden runs off my shoulders. How can I hurt when holding you? One, touching one,
Hobbies,
reaching out, touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline, ba ba ba. Good times never seem so good, so good, so good. So I've been inclined, ba ba ba, to believe they never would. Oh no, no. Sweet Caroline, ba ba ba. Good times never seem so good, so good, so good. Sweet Caroline, ba ba ba. I believe they never could. Sweet Caroline, ba ba ba. Good times never seem so good, so good, so good, so good. I've been inclined to believe they never would. Oh, no. Please let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. And hey, if you got any requests, please send me an email to the email address in the About section of my channel. Please leave a thumbs up here if you like this, and feel free to share this out here. So, plenty more karaoke to come.
Hey everybody, guys, we got to get down to we got to get to the bottom of this groovy mystery, guys. Is Elvis still alive? I think he is. Maybe I'm Elvis. Maybe you're listening to Elvis right now, guys. Maybe the ball's Elvis. Maybe we're all Elvis, guys. I got 2 Elvis things to watch. It's gonna be a long one. This was a TV special, the Elvis Conspiracy TV special. Hey, you think if you could fake your own death, you would you would come up with a better way than dying on the shitter, you know what I mean? You think you'd come up with something a little like fighting ninjas. I died fighting ninjas. No, Elvis died on the toilet. But anyway, guys, let's get started. There's a lot to learn and a lot to cover and such. Maybe Skunk's Elvis.
This then moved to a secret location, perhaps in Kalamazoo, Michigan,
nice.
the Midwest.
Hold on,
or
guys, I gotta
Hawaii.
fix the tracking.
Presley has maintained a low profile ever since.
I'm Elvis.
But has been tape recorded at least twice. Once in a late-night phone call to Gail Brewer Giorgio.
Oh, shit, Gail Brewer.
Well, maybe you'll be a grandfather these days.
Is that Elvis? That's Elvis on the phone?
Definitely be out.
Elvis Presley was also allegedly recorded in a longer conversation with a woman named Ellen Foster in 1981.
Oh, shit.
I started traveling.
I hope you guys got your fried nanner sandwiches ready.
And it's been enjoyable, but it's been a constant battle of growing beards and this
Boy,
and that
Elvis.
to keep from being recognized.
That's fucking Elvis.
Some believe and hope that Elvis Presley will soon come out of hiding and explain to
I mean,
the
I don't care that much.
world the real circumstances of his disappearance.
I mean, I don't care all that much. That's not Elvis.
As with many conspiracy theories,
Is Bill Bixby Elvis?
proof for the Elvis conspiracy is very elusive.
Elvis conspiracy.
We know for a fact that Elvis Presley had received a DEA appointment as
Yeah,
a
'cause he's still
special
alive,
assistant
JD.
to the Bureau of Narcotics and Dangerous Drugs by President Richard M. Nixon, and was given a badge. We also know
Oh, shit.
that he had unknowingly become a victim of an organized crime conspiracy
Special Agent Elvis.
to defraud him of a large sum of money, and that the criminal group known as the Fraternity became the target of an FBI sting operation in part because of this conspiracy. And as
What about the criminal group known as Beef?
we all know, for the last few years, there have been a number of Elvis sightings all around the country.
Elvis.
Now, after the airing of our first special, we were swamped by people with their own sighting stories to tell. We were skeptical.
I think Elvis went back in
But
time.
we did check them out, and most all of the sightings fell apart under scrutiny. But for yourself,
How exciting.
for example,
Is Elvis Presley alive?
Yes.
Our first sighting took place
Oh,
in
shit.
August of 1991 in Clyde, Ohio.
What the fuck would Elvis be doing in Ohio? I'm gonna go to Ohio. that's where you go to die. Ohio is where you go to die.
My name is Kelly Wadsworth. On August 23rd of 1991,
Oh, shit.
I saw Elvis Presley at Winesburg Inn in Clyde, Ohio.
When we heard Kelly's statement, we sent investigators to Clyde, Ohio, and the location of the sighting, the Winesburg Inn. Kelly Wadsworth is certain that Elvis
Hey, I saw the Elvis.
Presley had dinner there, and she believes that
I
she has
complained to him about the weather.
the photographs to prove it. On the night of August 23rd, 1991,
Cool
at
dude.
approximately 6 p.m., Kelly and her boyfriend observed a man fitting Elvis's description exiting
There
a
he
car
is,
that was
fucking
suspiciously
Elvis.
parked in the back of the
Wait, Elvis is right there.
restaurant.
Who's that actor?
And I said, God, this guy really looks like him. I said, we've got to go home and get the camera and take some pictures. Nobody's going to believe me.
A few minutes later,
No one
Kelly
believes you now.
returned with the camera.
I checked in the lobby. Nobody was there. I looked in the bar side. Nobody was there. And then that's when I spotted him. He was sitting in the restaurant.
There he is, the king. Why would he be wearing those glasses?
When I took my first picture and the click went off, I shocked them all. The bodyguard ran towards me and then he ran around the side
Oh,
and grabbed
shit.
stuff from the table.
Insanity.
And then they started running out
Pandemonium.
to the back door. I thought maybe I can get a couple more good shots.
He's Elvising out.
What is very strange to me is that this wasn't Elvis. Then why was he getting up in a hurry after I took a picture? In fact, the bodyguard even
Maybe because you ran up to a complete stranger and started taking his picture like a fucking weirdo.
came towards me to keep me from taking another shot. I
Yeah,
never
right.
assumed this was
Elvis
gonna
needs his
happen.
minerals.
At the restaurant, we talked with hostess Chris Davidson about Kelly's sighting. Chris remembered the incident and described the mysterious man.
He had dark, real dark, black, almost bluish hair. the long sideburns. Like he always dressed like Elvis. He had lots of rings.
Elvis was going hog wild.
A little shorter than I was.
Who was this man? We do know that he made a reservation under the name of John Burrows.
There he is.
Besides that, his identity and whereabouts today is unknown.
It's just some Italian guy. Hey, we take a picture before.
Could Elvis still be alive? Call 1-900-740-0410 from a touch-tone
Someone call that number.
phone anytime during our broadcast and give
Oh,
your
do I get to
opinion.
talk to her?
Our poll will be updated during the course of our broadcast.
Maybe if I get to talk to her.
Callers will be able to ask questions of our panel. Calls are $2 per minute, and callers under 18 need
$2 per minute. Suck my dick.
parental permission before calling. When the
You're
Elvis
calling
conspiracy
now.
continues, we'll follow a mysterious paper trail that may lead straight to Elvis Presley.
Of course it's Escape. Don't call
That's
it.
me.
They'll charge you.
Me again.
Oh, shit.
Bullseye.
Ah,
You
idiot.
could say I'm a magnet for stains.
You're a bag of shit.
And each one meant money down the drain. Until I discovered new Ultra Dash.
New Ultra Dash packs an extra
Yeah,
stain
this is
fighting
like
ingredient
89
that
money,
can
too.
power
This is
out some of the
1989 money.
toughest Stains. But it doesn't cost a fortune.
Maybe I ought to tell them about Dash.
Nice one, stupid.
New Ultra Dash. It cleans a mess for less.
I'll borrow my mother's earrings, her scarf, but my mother's tampons. No way! I found new Ultimates cardboard
What's wrong with your mother's tampons? What, do you think you're better than she is?
applicator tampons from Playtex. Great protection, plus a curved
Right up the
cardboard
snooch.
applicator. Ultimates. It's not your mother's tampon.
Shower yourself with a new sensation. New refreshing Shield. Feel the blast.
Oh, shit.
The high-energy beat of Shield's unique skin-invigorating formula.
That happens every time I take a
Refreshment
shower,
that'll turn you
guys.
around.
I'm like, yeah.
New refreshing Shield.
How can you stop a throbbing toothache? Massage
How do I get
your
a sweet
hand with
haircut
ice.
like that?
How do you cure poison ivy? Try oatmeal. How do I know these cures really work? Because my staff and I interviewed over 500 top
shit.
U.S. doctors for this.
Doctors don't want you to know about this, guys. Everyone had that book back then. I've seen that book all over the place.
The Doctor's Book of Home Remedies from the editors of Prevention Magazine Health Books. I'm Bill Gottlieb, editor-in-chief.
Oh!
And I can assure you there has never been a more complete encyclopedia of home healing techniques.
I need that
Over
book.
670 pages.
Corns and calluses.
2,300 remedies. From controlling diabetes to ending diaper rash, it's all right
Well,
in
now
here.
you tell me about diaper
Call
rash.
now for the Doctor's
My
Book
ass
of
is
Home
chafing.
Remedies. Try it absolutely free for 21 days. Then, if you choose to keep it,
Everyone
pay
had
in
that
3
fucking
easy
book.
installments of only $8.98. Plus, you'll get this Meals That
See,
Heal
everyone
cookbook
had
free.
it. Literally everyone had that
Remember,
book.
you can try the Doctor's Book of Home Remedies free for 21 days. So call now.
Call 1-800-992-2100.
There he is.
Welcome back to the Elvis Conspiracy.
I need to know more. That's what he looked like today?
A few minutes ago, we brought you the story of Kelly Wadsworth.
Poor Bill Bixby.Is career was done for at this point doing Elvis. I remember, like, I was really young, but I remember this when it came out, and I remember everyone making fun of it.
An Ohio woman who believes that she may have seen Elvis. Last August, no matter what you believe, there was one part of Kelly's story that intrigued us, and that is this. Now, during the course of researching this broadcast, we've come across this name many times. Our next guest will share with us the results of his investigation, which
I'm
makes
excited.
the name John Burrows a name to be reckoned with. Joining us is Monty Nicholson, an investigator for the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department and the author of 2 books, The Presley Arrangement and Elvis Calling. Ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen,
this killed him. This is what killed him.
please welcome Monty Nicholson.
Dude, you were the Hulk. What are you doing? Talking about Elvis.
All right, now, Monty, your investigation into the controversy regarding Elvis
Bill Bixby is doing Jerry Springer cosplay, guys.
Presley's death began as a novel, didn't it?
Yeah, Bill, it really did. It was my intention from the very beginning to write novels, fiction novels, that would immortalize Elvis Presley. Of course, as I researched that information, I got caught up in this controversy.
Yeah.
But you know, I think the most interesting thing I've seen of everything is this paper trail of John Burrows.
All right.
Oh, shit. Who's this guy?
Share some of that investigation now.
A week or two after the Elvis Files aired, I received a call from a gentleman with an amazing story to tell.
The Elvis Files.
This man was something of a computer hacker. Intrigued by our show,
No,
he tried
computers
to track
didn't even
down
exist back then.
Elvis Presley's credit report. He typed in the name and found nothing. He tried again, only this time he typed in Elvis's Social Security number. Bingo. Up came some information, and next to Elvis's number was a second number. When he typed in that number...
Can you prove any of this? No.
Up came
I'll
the
go to
name
prison.
Elvis Presley. Curiously, another name also appeared, John Burrows. John Burrows' name was woven together with Elvis Presley's throughout this lengthy credit report. This was just the beginning.
He hacked the mainframe.
Elvis Presley or someone using that name has a very active credit history since 1977 when he supposedly died. Now, usually when a person dies, their credit history is wiped out after 7 years. Isn't that correct?
That's correct. Yet it appears that
so Elvis is still alive.
Someone is actively using Elvis Presley's credit history as late as March
Punk rock using Elvis's credit
of 1991.
Now, what do you mean by using?
Well, someone appears to be taking Elvis Presley's Social Security number, or the number that's assigned to John Burrows, and is using them in a series of financial transactions. Now, our information doesn't explain what kind of transactions these are, but the fact that somebody's using them is pretty curious and maybe criminal.
All right, then where does John Burrows fit in?
Well,
Who is
it's
this
highly unlikely
John Burrows?
that John Burrows and Elvis Presley's credit history could overlap if they're two distinct individuals. This John Burrows may be in violation of the law unless, of course, he is Elvis Presley.
Now, take a look at this.
Here we go, guys. This is where it gets good.
Our paper trail begins with an entry that shows John Burrows living in Fort Worth, Texas.
I could see Elvis living in Texas.
December of 1989. It then leads to Kalamazoo, Michigan, where John Burrows had another residence. This paper trail also revealed that John Burrows had applied for credit in Little Rock, Arkansas, Birmingham, Alabama, Shreveport, Louisiana, and Kansas City, Missouri. Continuing along this trail, we uncovered a new address for John Burrows in Perrysburg, Ohio, and most recently in Chicago, Illinois.
Elvis would not step foot in Ohio. That's where I draw the line. Maybe Elvis is Yellow Groove.
But the curious thing about this paper trail is that it begins in Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh, shit, Memphis.
Monty, where in Memphis?
One of the addresses was Graceland.
So you're telling us that John Burrows lives at Graceland?
That's what the file appeared to show. One of the former addresses was Graceland, yes.
What explanation do you have for this?
Well, I believe there's three theories. One, Elvis Presley's alive. Two, someone's concocted this entire thing in order to keep the rumor afloat.
Well, why would your fake death be dying on the toilet? No one wants that fake death.
And third, this thing's all a smokescreen to lead us to believe we've solved the mystery and throw us off the trail.
It makes sense.
Sometime late December, I went on the road with another investigator trying to track down this elusive John Burrows and follow up on some of the more credible Elvis sightings.
The more credible Elvis sightings, like he's Bigfoot.
Why don't we just go ahead and run that now, and it'll explain.
All right.
Recently, a man named David Wasson got a letter written by a John Burrows, postmarked in Fort Worth, Texas. It had a return address, so that's where we started.
It has to be. He has to be alive.
Now, this paper trail led us to this rather obscure area in Texas. Now, we haven't gone to the house yet. That will be our next step.
Guys, be careful. Elvis could attack at any second.
Understand
at any second. He's a black belt.
We don't know what to expect.
Bigfoot is Elvis. He's right.
What you've been
Texas, the land of the toast.
A person by the name of John Burrows lives. I'm pretty skeptical at this point, looking at the neighborhood, but one of two things is going to happen. Either a man simply by the name of John Burrows lives at this address.
Why would Elvis live in that shithole? I mean, it's an alright place, I guess, but Elvis would not be living there.
Or the king has been here in hiding since 1977. And you watch it and go with me now as we contact the people that live there and see what they can tell us about John Burrows. When we went to the house, it was empty, but we met a woman who spoke to us on the condition that we not show her face. She told us some intriguing things about John Burrows.
Oh, shit!
John is a businessman?
That is a beautiful shirt.
Yeah.
I thought you said he was an entertainer.
Well, he is, but I mean, he's got a lot of business with something, I don't know, he's got money, I guess, you know.
Well, now let me ask you this question. You're aware of the controversy that Elvis may still be alive.
Yeah.
How do you feel about John Burrows? You think there's a possibility that he could be the king in hiding?
Nibiru? Elvis went to Nibiru?
Or you don't want to talk about it?
I can't.
You can't talk about it. What's he look like? He does look like Elvis, huh? How old a man is he, would you say?
I don't know.
John Burrows, from what you told me, you don't have
Bill Bixby died 2 years after this? I bet it was from seeing that shirt.
7. As soon as he found that someone was looking into his identity, he's moved. By your statement,
he's under the Getty Museum.
That he doesn't want to be found, he doesn't want to be interviewed. And
Elvis,
really,
it's time to fess up, dude.
Basically, you're saying that there's not a lot that you can talk about. The last thing the woman told us was that Burrows had recently moved to Perrysburg, Ohio. The lady I talked to was very hesitant.
What the hell? Elvis don't want to live in there. Elvis had a taste of a good life. He doesn't want to live next to these shacks.
Talking to me about John Burrows. She says he's a man that wants to be in hiding. He's a man that does not want to be known as Elvis Presley. I ask why John Burrows will not return my phone calls, will not allow.
They should have left a trail of Nanner sandwiches leading to a box being held up by a stick. That would have got him.
Interview him if he indeed is not Elvis Presley.
To be fair, Garm, this was made fun of for weeks when this came out.
Certainly dispel the rumor.
Remember everyone making fun of this.
Where did John Burrows move?
The woman told us that he'd moved to Perrysburg, Ohio, several months before we arrived.
Let's go.
Coincidentally, that's in an area where a number of the so-called Elvis sightings have occurred.
All right, where does this paper trail finally end up?
Well, the most recent address is Chicago, Illinois. We ran an address update from the existing paper trail, and that report came back with an additional name and new address. The address was in Chicago, and the name, curiously, was Presley.
Well,
he opened up a business called Todd's Onion Ring and Pizza Emporium.
When we return, we're going to explore the origins of the mysterious Mr. John Burrows and try to give him a personal call.
I need answers,
stay
Bill.
with us.
I need answers, Bill. Bixby! Bixby! Give me answers!
Is Elvis Presley alive?
Yes!
Our second sighting took place in late December 1989 in Grand Blanc, Michigan. It was the holiday season, and a celebration was in full swing. To a woman we will call Cindy, it was a Christmas she would never forget.
Christmas with Elvis.
Near the end of her shift, working at a local bar, Cindy was saying goodnight to some regular customers when she noticed a man sitting alone. There was something about him that seemed somehow familiar. Intrigued, she tried to engage him in conversation.
He was on Cops, I remember that.
Cindy said that though the light concealed the man's face, she became more...
That's fucking Elvis! He's right there!
More and more certain she had seen him before. Somehow the conversation turned to entertainment, and the man told Cindy that one of his best friends was singer...
I sucked his dick. It was definitely Elvis's dick.
Tom Jones. Somewhat skeptical.
The third time I sucked his dick, I knew then and there that it was Elvis.
Cindy finally finished up her conversation and went to turn on a bar light. Then she realized who the man was.
Oh, shit.
But it was too late.
Walk into the light, Elvis. It disappeared!
The man was gone. Later, 2 men reported seeing the man entering a stretch limo outside.
Okay, a local shit bar, and some guy looking a lot like Elvis walks out and gets into a stretch limo. Get the fuck out of here. It's so dumb.
Cindy is convinced the man was
some stretch limo at some local dive shit bar.
Elvis Presley.
The Becca of a King.
Could Elvis still be alive? Call 1-900-740-0410 from a touch-tone phone anytime during our broadcast and give your opinion. Our poll will be updated during the course of our broadcast. And
they didn't think that story through. There would not be a stretch limo at a dive bar.
Calls are $2 per minute, and callers under 18 need parental permission before calling. When we come back, we'll probe the identity of the...
And what? Who was driving it? Was he driving it? Elvis drives his own limo? He was just waiting outside the whole time?
A name that brought Elvis Presley to the...
Of all the important safety features
Yeah, right.
we put in
Stretch
the new
limo.
Camry,
It's so dumb.
some may seem a bit extravagant.
Stronger body construction, child protector rear door locks, rear seat headrests, adjustable front seatbelt
I need that car.
standard driver side airbag, available anti-lock brakes.
They had phone sex with you? Lucky bastard.
We didn't ask what it costs. We asked what it could save. The all-new
Get out of my car, you little shit!
Toyota Camry. We just couldn't leave well enough alone.
Taco Bell salutes California's Olympic hopefuls. Santa Cruz's Eva Twardokins continues to train for a chance in Maribel, site of the women's Olympic events. A team leader,
She can
Eva
do
is
it.
quietly
She can win.
confident about the games.
Just a really special event and just representing my country.
I just hope I can win, so Irish Carl will finally love me.
In a way that would make me proud, and I'd really like to be there.
Eva Twardokins, a California Olympic hopeful.
Eva Turducken?
This Albertville update has been
You can
brought
do
to
it,
you
Eva
by Taco
Turducken.
Bell.
Have you tried Taco Bell's new breakfast burrito? It's good.
Who's that asshole?
More scrambled eggs like Mama makes, with cheddar cheese, sausage or bacon.
Sausage or bacon.
Taco Bell has a whole breakfast menu, starting at just 39 cents.
Well, I know I'm
Louise
going.
likes the warm caramel rolls with a hot cup of coffee.
You just slide through the takeout window and eat it on the way to work.
There he goes.
For breakfast!
He's in the piano mobile. Wish I had a piano mobile.
We promise to love and honor.
Hey, your piano don't have
but
wheels.
Not to always tell each other when we write a check or remember to deposit one.
Yes,
In
we're
the
watching
interest of
every
domestic
commercial.
tranquility, Bank
I
of
want
America
I want the
offers quick
experience.
look, a mini statement anytime from any Versateller machine. Quick look.
They're
Only
gonna
the
fudge
checking
later.
at Bank of America.
They're gonna fudge
Because
later.
we'd much rather love and
They're
honor
gonna fudge
than
later.
interrogate.
They're gonna fudge later.
Bank of America.
I've been treating this seductive young woman.
The psychiatrist,
I had the dream again.
his patient,
Oh, this movie was so good.
Couch, can I, Dr. Barr?
her sister,
Never even heard of this movie.
Try to talk yourself out of what you want.
the murder.
Anyone see you? You think it was me?
He's gonna put Richard Gere's gonna put Kim Basinger up his ass.
Richard Gere, Kim Basinger, final analysis. Rated R.
What a classic.
February 7th.
Classic. Finally, some
Welcome
Elvis.
back to the Elvis Conspiracy.
You can't
Brought to
fudge
you from
my
the
Elvis.
Imperial Palace Hotel and Casino in Las
You wrote
Vegas.
that movie?
Just who is John Burrows? There are
It's
many
Elvis.
clues and theories. The name John Burrows first appeared on a letter Elvis Presley wrote to President Richard Nixon in 1970. Presley told the president that he was using the name John Burrows as a pseudonym in order to avoid public scrutiny. Then, 7 years after Elvis Presley supposedly died, John Burrows' name suddenly reappears. Curiously, a few months before the Elvis Files aired, a gentleman in Kingman, Arizona,
Where do I find the Elvis files?
named David Wasson held a workshop on Elvis and a class that led to a correspondence between Mr. Wasson and John Burrows. We recently filmed an interview with David Wasson.
Are you
and
saying
here
Elvis was a fan of fried cookery?
is his story.
In June of 1991, 2 months before the Elvis Files aired, a college
I don't know,
teacher
Bill Bixby. You're kind of looking Elvis-y. You're looking Elvis-esque to me. Are you sure? Are we sure Bill Bixby wasn't Elvis?
in Kingman, Arizona, David Wasson, hosted a 4-day intensive workshop on the life of Elvis Presley and his contributions to American culture and the world of music. And some of the panel from our show
Maybe that's Elvis. There's a good possibility that is Elvis.
participated in the workshop. In late August, after the Elvis Files was broadcast, Monty Nicholson contacted David, and together they agreed that he write a letter to the address of Mr. John Burrows. Now, David, could you give me a little background on the John Burrows letter?
After the TV show last August, Monty received
You mean the Elvis Files?
Right.
Yeah.
Monty received a tip that John Burrows, a name that Elvis at one time had gone by, was living in a certain state. And there was a connection between his name and Elvis Presley.
Where's Elvis?
And so we decided that I would write Mr. Burrows a letter.
Now, John Burrows responded to your letter.
Yes, he did.
What did he write?
I have a copy right here. He wrote, "Dear Mr. Watson, I have received your letter and the info."
And he said I wasn't nothing but a hound dog.
Elvis, I'm sorry that I cannot meet you.
And he was going to put his blue suede shoes up my keister.
I have received your letter and the info on Elvis. I'm sorry that I cannot meet you. I'm an entertainer, and I'll be out of state during that time. But I believe that you have a good idea on a living history on Elvis. Respectfully, John Burrows.
Now, what did you do when you received this letter?
I furiously masturbated. And then...
First thing I did, I grabbed my history books and looked up some samples of Elvis's handwriting, and I was quite impressed. This was very, very close.
Yes, so am I. Well, what's your opinion now?
Either there's someone out there who really has a lot of fun pretending he's Elvis Presley, has mastered the handwriting very well,
or it's fucking Elvis.
Nice to send you a letter and then evaporate.
Right.
A lot of disappearances going on.
There's very few people get letters from Elvis today, so I really feel privileged.
An awful lot of people see him, don't they?
They sure do.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Well, that's all I need to hear. I don't need any more proof than that. It's settled. Elvis is alive.
When I saw the Watson letter for the first time, my first thought was, yes, that looks like Elvis Presley's handwriting. But the letter could easily have been traced from the authenticated Elvis Presley letter to President Nixon. We contacted handwriting expert Sheila Lowe and had her make a scientific comparison of these two documents, and here is her conclusion.
In my capacity as a question document examiner qualified by the California court systems, I was asked to compare a handwriting of Elvis Presley in a letter that he wrote to President Richard Nixon.
She looks trustworthy,
with
guys.
a letter that contains the name John Burrows. And during my examination, I compared the two samples of handwriting for the stroke quality, the writing impulse, degree of slant, and many other facets of handwriting. I also made overhead transparency so that I could make a direct comparison of the writing style. This is the letter to Richard Nixon. I'm going to show you the letter from John Burrows, and notice the word dear, Mr., as I overlay this.
Motherfucker.
And you see how they match.
Motherfucker.
Exactly.
That's Elvis.
Both words, dear and Mr. Also the word John Burrows, which this letter was signed John Burrows, was in this letter to Richard Nixon. And as I overlay this, you'll see that these two are very, very similar.
What now, guys?
A space from the B to the rest of the word. The word John is written all in one impulse. The spacing between the two words is the same. And there are many, many
Don't argue with her. She's a professional.
Yeah,
where's the peanut butter stains?
In the two letters is also similar. Many of the same phrases and words were used. So what I did was to take the words that were the same.
John Burrows has a Twitter account?
And cut them out and paste them on a paper. And here they are for comparison. On this transparency, each of the top lines is the handwriting of Elvis, and the second line is the writing that was in the John Burrows letter.
Oh, shit.
The next thing that I did in my comparison was to prepare a psychogram chart on both handwritings. And the psychogram is a scientific instrument that was devised in the 1930s by a Dr. Clara Roman, who was a Hungarian psychiatrist.
I was so excited when I found out I gave Cloudzak a smidge.
Here's the psychogram of Elvis Presley.
A psychogram?
And this is prepared by measuring over 40 different indicators in the handwriting. This is the psychogram of John Burrows.
Oh, shit.
And you'll see, as I lay one over the top of the other, that they are, again, almost identical.
Case closed. Case closed, it's Elvis.
Having done this comparison, checking the slant, the size, the writing impulse, the stroke quality, and all of these other factors, I found that there are about 80% similarity between the two handwritings. But there's a 20% difference that is extremely important. And one of those differences is that in Elvis's writing, he consistently has what is called flame-shaped loops, which would be a loop that's pointed on the top, a feature that's missing in the John Burrows letter.
We're learning.
So in my professional opinion, having considered all these factors, I believe that the two handwritings were done by two different people.
Yeah, we'll explain those Baraka choppers. She's got Baraka choppers.
Elvis Presley didn't write this letter, then who did? Now, before
Hanford.
we went to Fort Worth, Monty Nicholson called the phone number that he had managed to get for John Burrows. All right, Monty, what happened when you called him?
Well, I spoke to a man at the Burrows residence. His name was Ron. He identified himself as a house guest.
I went to Burrows' house. I talked to a man living there. His name was Elvis Esley, and he had a lot to say about this John Burrows character.
Description of John Burrows, which matched Elvis Presley's. This conversation took place on August 18, 1991, by the way, and John Burrows was seen at the Winesburg Inn on August 23rd, just 5 days later. When we visited the address later, neither Ron nor John Burrows were home.
Oh, well.
Dude, you know Elvis would have loved Hot Pockets. You know Elvis would have loved Hot Pockets. He totally missed out if he's dead.
Monty has spoken with people at John Burrows' Fort Worth address on several occasions, and now we are going to call again. Monty, if you'd like to come over here.
Oh, shit, phone time.
Hopefully we will disguise this tone so that we do not expose the telephone number.
This is so fake. This is ridiculous. Elvis Presley.
I misdialed.
Oh,
I will
Bill.
start again.
You goose.
Live television.
I hope they paid you a lot of money for this, Bill Bixby.
I know this one is
Hey, what's going on? Hey, man, let me finish my dinner sandwich. Oh, Elvis!
Thank you very much for calling. We're not in at the present time. At the sound of the beep, please leave
That's
your
fucking Elvis, dude.
name and number, and we'll get right back with you. Thank you.
Hello, this is Elvis. Please leave a message.
This is a message for John Burrows from Monty Nicholson. We are live on television. If you would like to comment on the Elvis conspiracy, please give us a call at 1-900-740-0401. Thank you.
Thank you, Monty. Well,
We need a DNA test, Liz. I think everyone has suspicions that you are, in fact, the king.
all right, since we're in the phone calls, we would like to take some from you at home. All right? Our first call, we have Tom from Philadelphia. Hello, Tom.
Is it
Bill
possible
Bixby sucks dicks! Click.
Elvis Presley is actually disguised as Howard Stern?
As Howard Stern?
Wow. Howard Stern's people even got to this?
That's 2 shows in a row you're trying to get publicity for yourself, so we'll move to the next caller. Thank you. May we have a call from Dave in St. Louis. Hello, Dave.
Steve at DC on Q106.5 had mentioned one time that Joe Esposito, and I'd like your opinion on this, was paid off handsomely as were, I think, a couple other people, the nurse that actually saw Elvis the night he was brought in, and one other person
got Baba Booey.
escapes my memory. I'd like your opinion on that.
Do you know anything of this?
We've investigated a lot of those types of preposterous allegations, and there's really no merit to those allegations at all.
Oh, shit.
All right. Charlie from Massachusetts.
We're getting to the bottom of this, guys.
Hello, Charlie.
Hello, Bill.
Hi.
First of all, I'd like to wish you a happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
And
Happy birthday, Bill. Enjoy it.
My question is this.
Yeah.
The name that Elvis supposedly recorded under, that was supposed to be his name backwards, has anything been released under that name, and what was the name again?
I don't know that anything was released under that. We are going to deal with this issue later. Do you have any information with regard to that?
There was nothing released that I'm
Hey,
aware
man, I
of.
just know what you guys tell me backstage. I don't know anything, man. I'm just sticking to the script.
But we are going to give information later on.
So perhaps you could call back, or maybe it will, expose itself as we pursue this show. Now, throughout this program, we've tried to document all of the curious events that we discussed in our last broadcast. In the Elvis Files, we brought you the story of Kelly Burgess, a Detroit woman who claimed to have seen Elvis Presley in a Kalamazoo office building. Kelly Burgess has since passed away.
Oh,
But she
no.
was not alone that day, and we have managed to find the person with whom she shared this unsettling experience. When we come back, Jason Woolbright, Kelly's son, will tell us his first-hand version of the story, so stay with us.
I'm excited.
When the Elvis conspiracy continues, Elvis's closest friends and advisors present their side of the story and describe the Elvis you may never have known existed.
One time he shit in a bucket. It was unreal. Jergens!
Jergens just revolutionized its dry skin lotion.
I'm gonna jerkin to the handwriting lady.
This extraordinary won't stay bottled up for long.
All these people in these commercials, they're dead.
Reese's Crunchy Peanut Butter Cups have 3 times more peanuts.
Oh shit,
Have
give
we
me
gone
one.
Too far.
Yeah, we don't get that anymore. Thanks, Biden.
Like peanuts. Reese's Crunchy Peanut Butter Cups, 3 times crunchier.
You jerked? Stop jerking.
BBC, Turner Broadcasting and Time Life Video dare you to take a walk on the wild side with Trials of Life. The gripping, award-winning nature video series that exposes the struggle to survive through uncensored, shocking photography.
Uncensored!
Join acclaimed naturalist David Attenborough for a close encounter with raw
Watch this
nature.
killer whale rip a seal apart.
See the thrill of the hunt and the strategy of the killer. The relentless drive to continue the bloodline and the miracle of birth. Call now and receive Hunting and Escaping for $9.99 and see why the law of the jungle is kill or be killed. If it captures your interest, you can get other videos about every other month. Each tape explores the harsh realities of survival in the animal world. Take a walk on the wild side.
Then get our mating series.
Trials of Life.
Man,
Call
these
now
is 2 lines. Fuck, dude.
to order Hunting and Escaping and
Awesome.
find out why we call them animals.
Whoa, they're animals.
To order your Trials of Life, call 1-800-432-8800 or send $9.99 plus $3.23 shipping and handling to the address on your screen.
With this ripe tomato, I'm going to show you how the new Aquafresh Flex Brush helps take care of your gums and your teeth. It has a flexible neck, so no matter how you brush,
My neck isn't as long as
gentle on your
yours.
gums. New Aquafresh Flex for gentle dental care.
Got great curves?
Oh, shit, good
Great
titties.
curves deserve
18 hours.
Whoa!
Playtex 18-hour bra. Supports full figures more beautifully.
Comfortably.
Great curves deserve.
The 18-hour bra.
From Playtex.
Whoa, they're
It's
styling
the
bitches.
The fashion. Start healing your dry skin from the inside.
Whoa!
Out.
She's put her fucking fingers in her arm.
Advanced therapy lotion.
Fucking wizard.
Jergens goes
Bitch
beyond
is a fucking wizard.
surface healing to actually heal dry skin
Look at
from the inside.
That's the
out.
devil's work.
Jergens penetrates to attract your body's inner moisture.
Did you guys see
Healing
that shit?
From the inside, so it stays healthier looking outside. Heal your dry skin
Watch,
from
watch.
the inside.
Look at that!
Out. With new Jergens.
How'd she
Advanced
do that?
Therapy lotions.
Welcome back to the Elvis conspiracy.
Now, there have been many sightings of Elvis Presley reported all over the country. And we've seen there have been a series of encounters in Ohio, what Monty Nicholson calls the epicenter of Elvis sightings. Now, right now, we want to reinvestigate one of the stories we brought you in our first broadcast.
Well, there's more than one of these?
Is Elvis Presley alive? Our third sighting took place in August of 1988.
Elvis. I love the Elvis sightings. Like it's like aliens.
Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Kalamazoo?
Kelly Burgess was intrigued with reports of Elvis sightings in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And in the
Oh,
summer
so she already was a fan of the conspiracy theory, and then she magically sees Elvis.
of 1988, decided to investigate firsthand.
That would be awesome.
Tipped off that John Burrows, the mysterious owner of a local office building,
Yeah, you guys might think I'm nuts, but I saw Bill Bixby the other day at the Walmart.
Elvis Presley.
I said, Bill Bixby, and he ran. He ran into the women's dressing room.
Kelly decided to go to the building and see for herself.
Oh, shit, here we go.
Kelly has since passed away, but on a talk show, she described what she saw.
I went into the offices, I went into 4 offices asking for Elvis Presley or John Burrows. They all looked at me quite incredible.
Elvis calls in. It's like, you got 6 months to live, Bill Bixby.
Business people, and I'm asking for Elvis Presley.
Maybe this is what killed
Kelly
Bill
continued
Bixby.
to check out the building until she was intercepted by security personnel and ushered into an office. And there, Kelly believes that she saw Elvis Presley.
I turned around, and I looked directly into his eyes. He had on gold-rimmed glasses, a very...
If he's trying to hide, why would he be wearing those Elvis glasses? He's not going to wear them Elvis glasses around town.
Modified version of what he used to wear. And they were with a slight tint to him. But I looked in his eyes. I mean, he had the Elvis Presley expression in his eyes, which I think most people that knew him are familiar with. I mean, that kind of sparkle. Same shape eyes, same color eyes. And I was stunned.
She saw it, guys.
And I said, "You have eyes just like Elvis." I said, "Are you a relative?" He said, "Nope." Then, after he listened to my questions, just stood there, kind of.
And then he sat me down and he unzipped his pants and he defecated on my head. He said he learned that from a guy in Connecticut.
A very pleasant look on his face, kind of half smiling at times. And just before I walked away, he said, "Yeah, but it's against the law to hoax your death."
Now, as intriguing as Kelly's story was,
that was not intriguing, Bill Bixby.
Needed more verification. In order to find her son, we had to hire a private investigator, and it took time. But as you can see, we finally found Mr. Woolbright. Please welcome Jason Woolbright. All right, now, Jason, did you see our first broadcast?
Yes, I did.
Well, I can't help but notice that
I
in
don't
the
trust that guy.
recreation we excluded you, and I assume that was our mistake.
Yes, it was.
I knew that. But in lieu of that, how close was our depiction?
It was very, very similar.
I swallow cum.
The real thing.
In your own words, please, would you just tell us what happened that day?
Sure. My mother had heard some information about Elvis being sighted in Kalamazoo. And so the two of us decided to go down there and try to find out if there was any truth to that rumor. When we went there, we went to a local restaurant where we had heard that Elvis had been reported sighted there. And while we were there, one of the patrons had made a suggestion that Elvis Presley had been sighted at a renovated office building.
So they suggested that you go there, is that the idea?
Correct.
And what happened?
When we went there, my mother went inside the office building and started to talk to a few of the tenants. And while we were talking to one of the tenants, this man entered the room.
It was fucking Elvis.
Demanded that we leave the tenants alone and that he escorted us outside.
All right. Do you think that you saw, at that time, Elvis Presley?
I really can't say for certain.
Then why the fuck are you here, you fucking asshole? I don't know. Did you see Elvis? I don't know, maybe. Where's live TV, you motherfucker?
What did the man look like?
He had glasses on with grayish hair and a beard, and he was wearing some jean overalls.
All right, now tell us, how did it all end?
All right, during the questioning, my mother was asking him some real serious questions concerning the Elvis Presley death. And he was starting to become real rude with answering the questions by just nodding his head or just saying yes or no. And then after that, my mother just walked out of the building.
And that was the end of that?
That was it.
What as intriguing as this sighting was, there are only...
Security, escort this asshole out of the building. Handle him roughly, please. I'll Bundy him out the door.
Memories to authenticate it, but there have been other alleged encounters with Elvis Presley that have been documented. Phone calls, sightings, and even a recording session. And we'll tell you all about it when we return. But first, let's check our public opinion poll. And remember, in our last show, 79% of those people polled believe that Elvis Presley could be alive. Now, let's see if that percentage has changed over the past few months. How many of our callers...
It's going to be 98%, dude.
I think that Elvis Presley could be alive.
Is Elvis alive?
Whoa. All right, so far, unchanged. We'll be back.
But why? Who cares? Who cares? What
moment?
Either he's alive or he's not. Who cares about opinion?
Is Elvis Presley alive?
Fuck yeah.
Our fourth sighting took place in June of 1989 near Birmingham, Alabama.
Why would you go there? You don't want to go to Birmingham, Alabama, trust me.
My name is Carol Sheehan. On June 6, 1989, I saw Elvis Presley on a farm in Blount County, Alabama.
Blount County is located northeast of Birmingham, Alabama. A rural area, it is an isolated location if someone wanted to disappear. Photographer Carol Sheehan was contacted by a friend who told her that Elvis Presley was in hiding on a local farm. Skeptical, Carol decided to see for herself.
Elvis on the side of the road. It needs an Elvis crossing sign.
On June 6, 1989, I decided to take my son, Michael, out with me to the farm to find out exactly for myself if there really was Elvis out there on the farm.
Just Elvis on the side of the road.
Michael in the car with a two-way radio as
I'm
my
Elvis?
lookout, just in case somebody came up.
I don't think I can pull off those white jumpsuits. I would try though.
Want me there. I took my camera,
Wild Elvis.
found some bushes to hide into.
Elvis returned to monkey.
And got all ready, and there was a guy walking on the farm that looked so much like Elvis. So I
That's not Elvis. That's just your typical lesbian.
started shooting pictures.
That's fucking Becky. That's just Becky. There he is. There's Becky.
A guy pulled up in a car to talk with him for a while. I managed to get one shot of that. Then Elvis turned
Man, that motherfucker's cool.
towards my area, and I panicked, and I got back in my car and took.
Fat Elvis, pretty rockin'. You gotta admit, Fat Elvis has his own charm. Big, fat, stinking,
when
smelly
I got back
Elvis.
home, I had a picture developed. I was more or less pleased with what I had.
A check of local property records found no Elvis Presley or John Burrows residing in the area. The only validation for Carol's story are these photographs. To some,
That's fucking Elvis,
they are
dude.
enough. Could Elvis
Dude, you know that like back then there was like every third guy dressed like Elvis.
still be alive? Call 1-900-740-0410 from a touch-tone phone anytime during our broadcast and give your opinion. Our poll will be updated during the course of our broadcast, and selected callers will be
We
able
need to get
to
Hogan and Elvis wig.
ask questions of our panel. Calls are $2 per minute, and callers under 18 need parental permission before calling.
Dude, I've only been in Alabama. Well, I mean, I've been in Alabama a long time, but I've definitely seen more than two people who still dress like Elvis, like old dudes with the Elvis haircut. I've seen it.
I know it's been quite a while.
When the Elvis conspiracy continues, we'll attend a recording session where Elvis Presley allegedly cut a record 4 years after he supposedly passed away.
With Tupac. It's just Honky Tonk Man. I'll be right back.
Somehow, people have gotten the idea the new Toyota Paseo is a wildly exciting, sporty coupe. The Paseo is a practical, sensible car. Okay, so it has some muscle. And a low starting price could be a big turn-on. And sure, you're going to be instantly popular. That's no reason to do something impulsive. Think it over. The all-new Paseo. A very practical car. From Toyota.
Both Visa and American Express Gold cards can get you to La Roche-Guyon, one of the prettiest towns in France. But should something go wrong here, only Visa Gold can get you out.
You had to come to France, right?
Don't start, Martin.
Because La Roche-Guyon's only towing service
No, we're not getting a tow truck. I can get this out.
doesn't take American Express. Visa Gold, delivering what really matters.
Jamal's from.
Honey, that means I eat France.
Oh.
It's everywhere you want to be.
What do you say? What do you say? Numbers are my life. Numbers never lie. I love them all.
Oh, shit.
So when someone told me I can get a hamburger for 49 cents and a cheeseburger for 59 cents
What?
at Burger King,
What a
well,
deal.
And only Burger King gives me those great flame-broiled burgers fixed any way I like
Back when Burger King was good.
them for terrific numbers like 49 cents and 59 cents. I get chills. It's so exciting to me.
When did this come out? Was this the 90s or was it the 80s?
Perfect 10.
You're working now.
It's my birthday.
Oh, shit.
But we're not doing anything special. We ordered dinner in. Jeff tried to make a cake. That's not all.
Copes is gonna break out the pink champagne. Yeah, I forget it was the 80s.
Alone.
Late 80s.
Together. One thing. He promised to wash my hair.
He's gonna shit on her head.
Your hair. Only in salons.
Tonight, Shannon Doherty,
Ugh.
Diane Ladd, Louis Anderson, and Lade
Anything worse than Dennis Miller?
Oh, to be a fly on the green room wall.
Good one, Dennis. Get the hell out of here.
Welcome back to the Elvis Conspiracy, brought to you from the Imperial Palace Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas.
Do you know who I am? Have you any idea who I am?
This was 92.
I know it's been quite a while.
Damn.
And it's so good to see you again.
That's
the
Elvis.
recording you've just heard has been presented as conclusive evidence that Elvis Presley did not die. And if the sound of the record isn't enough to convince you, listen to this.
I knew, no. Wait a minute, man. Wait a minute. Hold, wait a minute.
This is so fake.
Somebody just told me that President Reagan and some other people have been shot. I'd just like to...
Oh, get out of here. You know what this is? This is a live recording. This is someone recorded him out at some shitty Vegas show. This ain't in the studio. Oh, get the fuck out of here. He would always, if you heard this, because they used to make fun of him on the radio, Elvis's live performances. He'd always stop a song and start yapping about something.
And I hope that...
This is live.
Yes. Yes, there was an attempt made on President Reagan's life in March of 1981, 4 years after the alleged death of Elvis Presley. Now, some...
Did you ever hear the one where Elvis stopped a song just to laugh at some dude's bald head for like 10 minutes? He just kept laughing at some dude's bald head.
That this recording...
Because, you know, he was fucking... He was wasted on all kinds of pills and shit.
That Elvis is alive. And the name of the singer is held up as further evidence. Civil Nora, which is Elvis Aaron spelled backwards. Civil first appeared in 1981 and went way out of his way to maintain a low profile. A gentleman of the name by Stephen Chances was in contact with Civil Nora, and in 1981, responding to fan club pressure, Chances released a home video where the mysterious Civil actually appears and even sings. We have obtained a copy of this videotape. Now, in order to protect Mr. Chance's privacy, we've obscured his face. Now, let's watch it.
Yeah, that's him.
You can't please everybody all the time, and if it makes people happy to hear my voice and to know I'm living, then that makes me happy. Let me try to get this thing in
You're not showing his face because it looks nothing like Elvis.
If you think I don't need you, look at my eyes.
Come on.
Raindrops are falling out of the sky. I think that you've been gone. I think the same song. If you think I don't need you,
show the face.
Baby, you're wrong. If you think I don't love you,
Elvis had a million people that a million impersonators that sang exactly like him.
baby, what can I do? To prove to you, baby, my love is true. I said, you've been gone. I think the same song.
All right, I am curious, after watching that tape, how many of you in the audience believe that Sybil is really Elvis? May I see a show of hands, please?
No.
All right, interesting.
You idiots, you morons.
Now, let's get back to the recording.
There's probably a sign that said, hands up, please.
Earlier, where Sybil stops the song and says that somebody just told them that President Reagan has been shot. I mean, it's just too convenient. Let's assume for a moment that Sybil is a hoax. Someone is trying to convince people that it really is Elvis Presley. Blurting out a reference about President Reagan is a pretty obvious way to imply Elvis is still alive. Still, there is little doubt at least to the human ear, Civil Nora sounds very much like Elvis Presley. But there is a way that we might be able to determine
Oh,
whether
shit. It's time for more sciencey goodness, guys.
or not Elvis is making these tapes. Now, first, let's listen to this.
Dear Mr. President, first I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Elvis Presley. I admire you and have great respect for your office. I'm sitting at the Washington Hotel. I'm resident of the name of John Burrows. I will be here as long as it takes to get the credentials of a federal agent. Respectfully, Elvis Presley.
All right, did it fool you? Well, Johnny Hara would fool just about anybody. But he would be hard-pressed to fool a voice print. So he decided to run
Here we
a
go,
voice
guys.
print test on the 1981
Enhance.
mystery tape. But before we show you the results of that test, I'd like to introduce you to our Elvis impersonator, Mr. Johnny Hara, please.
Yeah, that's who it was. It was this guy. There he is.
Welcome, Johnny. Good to see you.
That's the guy who played Porky in Porky's.
Hey, John. All right, Johnny, welcome. Now, how long have you been working as an Elvis impersonator?
Since I was 11 years old.
And how many years have you been
About
doing it?
35
I don't
years.
want to die every day.
About 35 years.
35 years.
Yes, sir.
Well, looking at you, it's obvious that people could mistake you for Elvis. So, have any of the Elvis sightings that you're aware of
A
actually been
voiceometer?
No, sir. I was mistaken for Elvis in Denver, Colorado. I was on the front page of the Rocky Morning News in 1976. And the
All
other
right,
time
dude, drop the voice, huh? Stop it.
I was here in
That's not your
Las
real
Vegas
voice.
when I was with one of my doctors here.
what?
With one of the doctors here.
Yeah, one of the doctors. It was Elvis's doctor, if I remember correctly, that you
yes,
were seen with. Now,
Yes, there was.
that appeared in the papers?
Yes, sir. Did one of the tabloids. I've heard it, yes, sir.
Let me ask you, do you think that there's a possibility that Elvis Presley could still be alive?
Well, very sad for the fans and sad for myself. No, sir, I don't think he's with us.
It's like, I don't believe it. Hey, look, dude, I'm a retarded Elvis impersonator. My whole life has been wasted. But there's no fucking way I'm believing this stupid conspiracy theory. You're wasting everyone's time. Just like how I've wasted my life trying to be somebody else.
All right, Johnny. Thank you very much for contributing this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, Johnny Hara.
Yeah. And Bill Bixby's going to have him beat up out back.
Excuse me. Now, we took the 1981
Maybe Bill
mystery
Bixby is a little feller.
tape to an audio analysis lab at the University of California at Los Angeles. We also gave the analyst, Dr. Peter Laudefoge, a known example of Elvis Presley's voice recorded at a press conference in 1970. This is what he discovered when he compared these two recordings.
Oh, shit. Here we go, guys.
Well, the first step in comparing two voices is
How could you not trust this guy? He's got a bunch of computers in front of him.
to get tape recordings of a known and an unknown voice. Here's a tape recording of the known voice of Elvis Presley, taken from a press conference, and here are all the question tapes that we've
This is
been
weird.
worrying about.
This whole thing is just weird.
They are real or not. I want to go through them and find words that are the same on both. So I'm
He
going
has an English accent. You could believe him.
start with the Elvis Presley tape, put that Elvis Presley tape in, and we can play that back, and you'll hear part of this press conference. This is
fantastic. You see, country music was always a part of...
Oh, Tascam,
There
good
was
shit.
Elvis saying, you see, country music is always a part of, and this word always I'm particularly interested in. I happen to have got the word always as said by the unknown speaker, also recorded. And in fact, I cut out
Mo Deb than Elvis. Oh, that Elvis. That Elvis. That Elvis.
There's two pieces of always from the two speakers and put them onto a computer, and now let's play them back from the computer. First, the always out of that piece you've just heard, and immediately following
This
it,
guy's just waiting for Doom. It's like, when the fuck's Doom coming out? This sucks. Gotta analyze Elvis.
the always from the mystery tape. There we go. Elvis, and then the mystery tape. And as you can see, they're forming patterns on the screen.
And it's those patterns that I want to be able to examine. Here are the words always as said by Elvis Presley, the known voice, and here is an always from one of the tapes which...
And the one who saw Elvis say, yeah!
Might or might not be Elvis Presley. You can see that there's a great deal of similarity.
Yeah, okay, that just looks like... that looks like your ass wipe, dude. Get out of here. You can't make heads or tails out of old shit.
Here and there. This word is a bit more jawled out and a bit longer. But to me, there are noticeable differences. Typically, the higher-up pieces up here in the unknown voice don't match those of the
you can't make heads or tails out of that.
Elvis Presley. There are also small differences in the way in which the curvature of the bars showing the frequencies in his voice change from the real voice to the unknown voice, and they're all in slightly different positions. When I consider these tapes, I don't think...
I immediately considered suicide. I am one bad moment away from hanging myself in the closet.
Any of them are Elvis Presley. If we think about that voice on the mystery tape, that doesn't seem to be Elvis Presley, almost certainly. So all in all these voices strike me as very unlikely to be Elvis Presley.
Oh, actually, this guy said, no, fuck off. That's not Elvis.
If Elvis Presley did not make this recording, then who did? And why? Dr. Love.
He said it wasn't Elvis. All right, I take it back, dude. He said no fucking way.
Based on his scientific analysis, the voice of the 1981 mystery tape is not that of Elvis Presley. Science can also help us in another part of our investigation. When we come back, we're going to see for ourselves what Elvis Presley might look like today. A description that bears an uncanny resemblance to the mysterious John Burrows. So hang in there.
When we come back, the Elvis conspiracy is finally revealed. Could John Burrows really be Elvis Presley?
It's just weird. Like, it has like an infomercial feel to it. You know what I mean? I believe him. Oh shit! Who that Bill? Bitch eating a hot dog. Hot dog eating ass Bill.
Maybe she's born with it.
Maybe she eats babies. Get out of here, Bill.
My mother would have a fit if she thought I wasn't using a detergent and a fabric softener for my dirtiest clothes.
Well, your mom's a fucking asshole.
These things when Ultra Bold does the job of both. It's the only concentrated detergent and softener in one. See? Super clean and super soft. With Ultra Bold, I don't need a detergent and a softener. I just keep them around in case Mom drops by, which is always right about...
Ultra Bold.
Oh, shit, here comes Mumsy.
And simple.
Mom, what a surprise.
An afternoon of playing grandparent can take
no.
quite a lot out of you.
It's Elvis. There's Elvis. Elvis is tired.
Vitamin C.
Didn't care these little shits. Where's Elvis out?
As nature would have it, replacing all of them is as simple as eating...
And that's when I eat the nanner sandwich. Say nanners.
In the case of twins, however, you might want to try two. Chiquita, quite possibly the world's perfect food.
Oh, shit.
I do.
I do. Love the taste?
I do. I do.
Cinnamon, fresh mint.
I do. I do. I do. I do.
Sugar-free Trident. The one gum more dentists recommend actually tastes great, too.
Who wants Trident?
Oh, fruit flavor.
She does. Who wants Trident? We do. We do. I do. I do.
Good for your teeth. Great taste, too.
Who wants Trident? I do.
Everyone in these commercials are dead from old age.
My mother's earrings, her scarf, but my mother's tampon.
Enough with the tampon commercials.
I found new Ultimate cardboard
You
applications.
will use your mother's tampons and you will like it, young lady.
Their tampons from Playtex. Great protection, plus a curved cardboard applicator. Ultimate. It's not your mother's tampon.
I won't wear anything without Cross Your Heart, because Cross Your Heart has crisscross shaping. So I always look better, whatever I wear.
Playtex Cross Your Heart Bra.
Don't wear anything without Cross Your Heart.
From Playtex.
The fit that makes the fashion.
Commercials.
Welcome back to the Elvis.
Oh, there's Elvis!
are people who are convinced that they did see Elvis Presley. If Elvis were alive today, he would be 57 years old. What would he look like? We decided to find out. We contacted Eugene O'Donnell, a graphic computer specialist who works for the FBI. Mr. O'Donnell helped develop a computer program that can take
that must have been the demographic.
the common characteristics of aging and superimpose that process on existing
What would
people.
Elvis look like today?
He agreed to help us, and we supplied him with a photograph of Elvis as a young man. It took Mr. O'Donnell 16 hours of computer time to come up with the following composite.
Breaking out the Tandy.
In this case, O'Donnell took a photograph of Elvis Presley as a young man and slowly aged him to the 57 years he would be today. Now, obviously, this enhancement doesn't take into account weight or surgical alteration. But O'Donnell's computer program can also anticipate hairstyles. For example, if Elvis Presley did indeed grow a beard, this is what he might look like.
Whoa, look at that. Look at that fucking insane computer technology.
This is as close to a picture of the 57-year-old Elvis Presley as it is possible to get with computer enhancement.
I've seen that guy.
Now, throughout the program, we've been bringing you first-hand stories of Elvis sightings, and along with that, we've also described the mysterious events centering on a man.
My favorite story so far, though, is that Elvis walked out of some dive bar into a stretch limo. What the fuck?
Known as John Burrows. In a few minutes, we're going to take your phone calls, but first, let's take a look at our electronic map.
It's map time, guys.
So far, we have shown you 4 different sightings of a man resembling Elvis Presley. One was in Clyde, Ohio, at the Winesburg Inn. One was on a farm in Blount County, Alabama. And 2 were in Michigan, in an office building in Kalamazoo and a bar in Grand Blanc. These are our 4 documented Elvis sightings. Now, we're not saying that these people actually saw Elvis Presley.
No one's saying that.
We feel it's safe to say they saw someone matching his description. Now, we've also followed John Burrows around the country through the credit report paper trail. Where Mr. Burrows goes, Elvis sightings seem to follow. Our witnesses described the man they saw as in his mid-50s, between 6 feet and 6 feet 2 inches in height, overweight, with graying dark hair. Some have reported that he has sideburns, others a beard. Again, there seems to be a pattern.
The Elvis tracker, guys.
Number of places where people claim they have seen a man they believe to be Elvis Presley, a person by the name of John Burrows has also been tracked.
Who is this John Burrows?
What is going on here?
All right. Now, please forgive me, Monty, but I'm still a little confused. Do the dates, rather.
I think they should have ended this with like an Elvis breaking through the wall and just attacking Bill Bixby, and the camera just turns off. Mr. Presley, no!
The 4 Elvis
slow motion of Elvis roaring. Roar.
Coincide.
That would have been the best ending.
With the dates found along the John Burrows paper trail.
Oh, they certainly do. In every instance where an Elvis sighting was reported, there was also a request for credit history of John Burrows.
All right, I think I understand. Let's see if there's any questions from our viewers at home. Hello, we have a call from Tracy from Nashville. Hi, Tracy.
Hello, Bill.
Hi.
Hi. I just want to tell y'all back in 1990, I worked for a local police department. I was a dispatcher.
Oh, shit.
And just by curiosity.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for calling. Now we have Carol Ann from Michigan, please. Hello, Carol Ann.
Hello.
Hi.
My question is that if Elvis has gone to such lengths to hide, if Elvis
Yes.
has gone to such lengths to hide his identity, why not leave the identity where it is now? Why do this?
I think it's been provoked, really, simply because of the sightings. It keeps going on in the press, and it keeps coming up and up, and it would be a nice thing to solve. I think that's why it's going on, and hopefully it will end this evening. That would be very nice, too. We have Carlene from Brooklyn. Hello, Carlene.
Hello, Bill.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I have a question for Monty.
Yes and no. I also have one for you, if it's all right. You worked with Elvis. Do you think Elvis is stupid?
Do I think Elvis was stupid?
Right.
No, I certainly don't. We had a wonderful time together.
See, they start heavy in the Elvis stuff, and then now they're shooting themselves in the foot the last half.
And all I can tell you is the man had tremendous instincts. But stupid? No, he wasn't stupid. He was one of those curious minds that I have ever known. You'll hear about that later too. So what are we down to? That Elvis is alive and being seen all around the Midwest, or that Elvis is dead and someone is staging these sightings to perpetuate a hoax for their own personal benefit?
Elvis is there
when
with
we
you?
come back, we're going to talk with
Wish I had Elvis with me. That'd be pretty cool.
someone who should be able to throw some light on this curious chain of events, and that man is Joe Esposito, Elvis Presley's Army buddy, Chief of Staff, and confidant. So please,
An all-around righteous dude. More commercials, guys.
Could Elvis still be alive? Call 1-900-740-0410 from a touch-tone phone anytime during our broadcast and give your opinion. Our poll will be updated during the course of our
It's like, no, I won't unzip your pants.
broadcast, and selected callers will be able to ask questions of our panel.
No, this is
Callers
not the sex line.
for $2
No, this is
per
for
minute, and Callers
Elvis.
under 18 need parental permission before calling.
No, I won't get naked.
When the Elvis conspiracy continues, you'll have a chance to talk with Elvis's right-hand man, who is finally going to tell all he knows about the mysterious events of August 16th, 1977.
Tonight
Shut
on
up, peanut
Miller,
butter
a
sandwich.
couple of chairs, a mic, and a kid with a dream.
They're going to ban breast implants for women, declare a moratorium on Porsche sales for men.
Johnny Dennis is...
Good one, Dennis. Dennis, go fuck yourself. That was so unfunny.
People make those kind of comments all the time, don't they?
Of course, Louis Anderson. This is great.
Today, Wednesday, all day.
I hate Dennis Miller. I hate Dennis Miller more than Louis Anderson.
Welcome actress Shannon Doherty, Diane
Oh,
Ladd,
shit.
and L.A. Laker Bonnie Divac. Tonight on the Dennis Miller
Is this
Show.
pre-tard out Shannon Doherty?
Now's the time. Get up, get out of your chair, off your couch, grab your loved one, hop in your car, get to McDonald's. You know the place. Smiling faces and those golden arches you love so much. Just get here. We don't care how you do it. Planes, trains, tricycles, crawl if you have to. But get
Elvis
here
is
now.
gonna get some
I mean,
burgers.
right now. Time is running out. Tick tock, tick tock. Because right now, for a limited time at participating McDonald's,
What
you can
awful
get some
commercials.
wings. You'll get 5 or 10 great tasting. I mean, really big, meaty, crispy, crunchy, tantalizing. Boy, are they good. They're better than good, tender, and juicy chicken wings.
Dude,
You can
shut
handle
up!
Special hot sauce. Ooh, yummy.
I hate this commercial.
Okay, go.
Dennis laughed at his own joke.
You can store all this at Public Storage and pay just
Oh, this is
$1 for the
douchey.
first month's rent.
You know, Dennis Miller was that guy that would just suck all the energy out of a room. Meanwhile, he's sitting there thinking he's all smart and shit, and everyone's just miserable.
You can store all this at Public Storage and still pay just $1 for the first month's rent. You can even store all this at Public Storage and pay just
Look at that,
$1 for
storage.
the first month's rent.
Can I store
At
Elvis in
Public
there?
Storage. You store it, you lock it, you keep the key.
Remember when Detroit was Motor City?
Who'd that be?
The best cars were made in the USA. Everybody had a V8. Cars had muscle, but they weren't very smart, like
She's dead now,
8
guys.
miles to the gallon. Well, muscles are back, and Ford's got them. This is the 5-liter V8 Thunderbird, a big bad car with good mileage. The 90s, you can have it all. Muscles.
Oh, it is the 90s. 90s confirmed.
Used to be a bank here. One day it was in business, next day it was gone. Well, if your bank is calling it quits and you're wondering what to do, switch to Great Western Bank. You'll find a 24-hour
That's Elvis.
hotline, Saturday hours, all the conveniences. And right now, you'll even get free
Get out of here,
checking.
you shit-kicking moron!
So if your bank
Go kick some more turds.
come to Great Western. They're still making history. And they're nice
Why aren't you
people,
kicking
too.
turds?
Welcome back to the Elvis Conspiracy, brought to you from the Imperial Palace Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas.
Source, yeah.
Now, before we meet our next guest, let's update our phone poll. How many of our United States callers believe that Elvis Presley could be alive?
I don't believe it.
75-25. All right, very interesting. Joining us now is a man who should know more about Elvis Presley's state of mind in August of 1977 than anyone else. Joe Esposito. Joe.
Yes, Elvis, in fact, died on the shitter. That's what I said. If you're going to fake your death, you're going to make a cooler death than dying on the shitter. No one wants to be known as the shitter guy. The dead on the shitter guy. They found Elvis with a fucking turd poking out of his ass. On his stomach, with his ass in the air with the turd hanging out of it.
Now, Joe was Elvis's
Joe
right-hand
Esposito would have been cool.
Chief of Staff and confidant. Joe is currently writing his own book on his 17 years with Elvis Presley. It's called
a rock hard pill-taking turd.
Elvis and the Memphis Mafia. And it'll be coming out pretty soon. Joe, welcome. Now, you have heard what we've said to this point. Who is John Burrows, and what do you think is going on?
Well, John Burrows to me is just somebody made up this.
That makes
like
sense.
a big hoax. They knew Elvis's alias was John Burrows, and I think somebody's doing this for their own gain.
All right, Joe, but we have a 75% percentage of people here who believe that Elvis is still alive. So what would you say to that?
Well,
Call him idiots.
Elvis Presley is dead. He died on August 16th, 1977. I'm sorry to say. I was there, and that's all I can say.
Did Elvis ever discuss a secret FBI operation with you?
No, the first time I heard about that was on the show that you
No,
guys
he
did.
talked a lot about fried cookery and pills and nanner sandwiches.
Last year. No, I never heard of any operation like that.
All right, now, to the best of your knowledge, was Elvis Presley ever an undercover agent for any law enforcement agency?
No, Elvis loved to be in law enforcement, but he was definitely not an agent for any law enforcement agency.
All right. There are questions that I have from our first broadcast. As Elvis's road manager...
It's Elvis's friends. What do you expect him to say? Oh, yeah, he's now the king of Mars. He faked his death, went to Mars, freed the slaves, and now he's the king.
You'd be in a position to know the answer to several of these questions. It was stated that there was an undercover agent in Elvis's band. Is that true?
Well, as far as his immediate band, his rhythm section, no. I knew all those musicians for many years.
There was not an undercover agent in the band. I wonder if this guy's like, are you really going to make me answer these stupid fucking questions?
They're not undercover agencies, but he had an orchestra that traveled with him. Now, it's possible that there was one in that group, but for what reason? There's no reason to have an undercover agent. They never traveled with us anyhow.
But there'd be none in the...
This guy asks, like, what the fuck are you asking me?
Idiot group.
No, absolutely not.
All right. Now, some people have maintained that Elvis Presley flew out by helicopter let's see. He flew out by helicopter into hiding when he allegedly died. Do you remember seeing a helicopter that day?
Only after his announcement of his death, Bill. There was no helicopters flying over Graceland before that. There was all the press after it was announced that he's dead.
But then when it was announced that...
Helicopters everywhere, yeah.
All right, Joe, now your version of events puts an end to any speculation that Elvis Presley might still be alive. And earlier you said that you'd be willing to take questions from our viewers at home?
That's what I'm here for.
Okay. All right.
You know they paid that guy good money to answer those stupid questions.
Let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to remind you, please, to be brief and stay on the subject, please. Our first phone call is Harold from somewhere, because I haven't been able to read that. From St. Louis. Hello, Harold.
Yes, sir. Mr. Bixby.
What, Mr. Bixby? What does semen taste like?
The question is to you, if Elvis is still alive, whose body did they haul out of Graceland? Was it the maid or the butler?
Yeah.
Good question.
A good question.
Good question.
I have no idea whose body, if it was in fact a real body.
I feel bad for Bill Bix because he doesn't care about this. He's just doing it for a paycheck, but he's eating his balls. It's like, no, are you stupid? Why are you asking me these questions? People on the phone are like, Bill, are you retarded? Are you retarded? It's like, man, I just need money, okay? I'm dying. I agreed to do this stupid fucking presentation because I'm dying, okay? Stop grilling me.
It was implied from our first show that may not have been. We have David from North Carolina. Hello, David.
Hey, how are you doing, Mr. Bixby?
Fine, thank you.
My question to you is, are you doing this to prepare the world that Elvis is still alive so the world wouldn't be such shocked that when Elvis
Oh, shit. When Elvis makes his triumphant return.
does surface and come back?
No, actually we're not. That was suggested on our first show that this was to prepare the way for Elvis. But there's no intention on our behalf to try that. It just simply is we're trying to track down and get rid of, rumors. That's what we'd like to do.
Baba
Becky from
Booey.
Houston. Hello, Becky.
You know, it's an honor to talk to you, and I've read where David Darlock is the one that is on the tape impersonating Elvis Presley, and I wish they'd just let him rest in peace.
Yes, I did a show on Geraldo's show, and he was on that show, and he is the one that stated he did that tape, and he had a contract with a fan club that paid him $250 to make that tape just for them.
Bucks.
And that is the voice on that tape.
All right. Michelle from New York, please. Hello, Michelle.
Hi.
Oh, you mean that tape wasn't real? Come on.
I'm fine. Thank you. How are you?
Okay, my question is, I heard that Lisa Marie disappears 2 months out of every year, and nobody knows where she goes. Is it true? And does she go to see him?
Joe?
Well,
yes, he goes. She goes and visits him on Mars every year.
I haven't heard of that story, and I don't know where you heard that one either, but I don't think
They
that's
need
true,
Elvis to
'cause,
come back.
Where's she going to go for those 2 months? Elvis is not here anymore.
All right. Now, Joe, some people have charged that your version of the official...
Bixby is flop sweating hard, dude. He is flop sweating fucking hard. He's like, what did I do?
story has changed over the years.
Oh, no.
There's never been an official story by me. I've given many interviews to many reporters, and what they interpret, I cannot tell you. It comes out different every time.
All right. When we come back...
He doesn't know what to do.
We'll have some questions for you, Joe, so please don't you go away, and don't you go away.
I'll be here.
Oh, more commercials.
When we come
The
back,
Elvis
Joe
conspiracy.
Esposito will answer your questions on the controversy that won't go away. Is Elvis still alive?
This is quite possibly the stupidest thing I've ever seen. This whole thing. I feel cheap. I feel used, guys.
Chocolate bars, you better grab a spoon.
One of the worst things I've ever seen. Oh shit.
You see, Hershey's turned your favorite chocolate bar flavors into delicious pudding.
Man, commercials were weird back then. There's like no music in the background and just some sniffer fucking talking into a microphone.
Come on.
Just weirdness.
With 70% skim milk in every spoonful. Hershey puddings, chocolate bar
Oh, this is
flavors.
awful. These commercials are awful.
You're right.
This, not this one,
With
though.
hot Quaker oatmeal is the right thing to do.
It's the right thing for you, too, you know. You can stand the warming and the nourishment.
Instant Quaker oatmeal.
It's the right thing to do.
then he's going to give her some scrote meal.
Shower yourself with a new sensation, new refreshing feel.
Don't give her some scrote meal.
Feel the blast, the high-energy beat of Shield's unique skin-invigorating formula. Refreshment that'll turn you around. New refreshing Shield.
A puzzle. With so many stomach remedies around, how do you
Poor
know
little guy.
which you can take for heartburn? And for diarrhea? And for upset stomach? You take Pepto-Bismol to relieve most any common stomach problem. Heartburn, upset stomach, and diarrhea. So who needs anything else? That is a puzzle. Pepto-Bismol is the only one.
I know what I'm getting.
Got great curves? Great curves deserve 18-hour. They take
Yeah, you're a little fat there, huh? I saw that beer gut.
18-hour bra.
Get rid of that.
Works full figures more beautifully, comfortably.
You're all right. The other one had a beer gut.
18-hour bra. From Playtex, the fit that makes the fashion.
I had this doozy of a sore throat. You know what my doc suggested? Chloroseptic. I actually felt the pain go away in seconds.
Because Chloroseptic penetrates on contact for fastest relief. More doctors say Chloroseptic spray.
Man, TV was weird back then.
Welcome back to the Elvis Conspiracy.
All right, Joe, we appreciate your staying with us. Let me ask, please.
Yeah, thanks for ruining everything, Joe.
Why do you think people keep reporting that Elvis is alive?
Well, because I think Elvis was loved by millions and millions of people, and these people that are causing this hoax know that, and to me it gives a lot of false hope to them, and I hope we can straighten this out on this show.
Well, in the summer of 1990, you appeared on another television show And in a conversation about
Everyone's
Elvis's
sleeping.
biographer, Albert Goldman, you said, and I quote, and that's how Elvis feels about the situation, the present tense. Why the present tense?
Well, I probably said it in the present tense because I feel Elvis is with me all the time. Elvis is alive in my heart, and he'll be there forever. And hope it is for everybody.
So he is in fact alive and in your heart at this very minute, a second? Get a scalpel. No!
All right. I'm sure that many people here in the audience have some questions. Please, have we a question?
Bill Bixby is very simple.
Madam.
Hi, my name's Wanda. I'm from Ohio, and I have a question that maybe you can put to rest. Elvis...
I heard you could fit a whole arm in your ass. Is that true, Mr. Bixby?
daughter, Lisa, someone said, or I had read, that she was to inherit the main estate when she turned 21 or whatever the age was.
25.
Or 25, but that has since been changed to 30.
Right.
Is that correct?
Yes,
and
it has.
why would that change if...
Because that's what Lisa wanted. She did not want to take the responsibility at the time when she turned 25, and she'd rather push it back to 30. And that's the way she
So this
wanted
was at her own request?
That was her own idea, yes.
All right. Yes, we have a question over here. Yes, sir?
Yeah, hi, my name is Chris, from LA in Vegas.
That dude is fucking awesome. Dude.
I was wondering, do you think the obsession with the death of Elvis is kind of significant of what...
Could you get closer to the mic, please? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
The obsession with the death of Elvis is characteristic of, like, the state of rock and roll at the moment. I mean, I generally feel that Elvis wanted to listen to the music instead of all this constant going on about is he alive or not. Do you think this is a common trend, or what are your comments on that?
What are you asking? Common
I
trend.
just feel that, like I said earlier, Elvis is loved by so many people. They hate to see him leave, and that people keep bringing up the thing.
The ball loved Elvis.
Game. I have an idea who it is who's causing this hoax, but I can't say the name. But I just want to make sure that Elvis is not here. I'm sorry to say, he's gone. He died. People have to understand that.
Physically, yes, what you're saying, he died. Yes.
Hi, my name is Amy, and I'm from McHenry, Illinois.
Could you speak up just a little, please?
My name is Amy, and I'm from McHenry, Illinois. And my question is it true that Elvis's dead body weighed less than when he was alive?
Well, that I can't answer that. I wish.
Yeah, because I weighed him, you fucking moron. Yeah, right before he died, I had him stand on a scale, and then right after he died, I picked him up and throw him back right on the fucking scale to make sure. Fucking idiot. I'm mad for this guy.
I don't know what how that works. He was heavy, yes, when he died, but I don't know what he weighed.
All right. Yes, please.
Joe, you know Elvis had a twin brother that died at birth, and I was wondering, is there any possibility that that brother could be alive?
No, that's another whole story now. I mean, no, he died at birth, ma'am. I'm sorry to say. Yeah, don't start that rumor, please.
Oh, dear. Yes, I can smell that one. Yes, sir.
Yes, I'd like to know, given the state...
Bill Bixby, how many hours are you going to cry after this special? I don't know, 7.
Elvis's health back in 1976, if he hadn't died, do you think he could have lived another 15 years?
Good question.
Well, as far as being around Elvis and knowing how strong he was, we thought Elvis would live forever, and it was not true. Yes, at that time I would say he probably lived on, but it happened so quick we didn't expect it.
Yes. Hello.
Being an Elvis fan, I'd like to believe that he was still alive, but I personally don't believe that, and I hope that the fans will listen to this.
Look, see, the fucking feds blurred the tape. So finally someone's speaking some truth.
Elvis was a man that had a lot of dignity, and if he was to hoax his own death, I don't think he'd want to have shown all the drugs found in his body at the time of death.
Elvis is alive right now in her hair.
Thank you.
Very true. Thank you.
Yes. We have a question? Do I have a question here? No, I don't have a question. I have a question over here. Does anyone have a question? I'll tell you.
It's like, nah, we're good, Bill. Hey, Bill, we're all right, dude. We don't got any questions. You can move on.
I'll tell you what, I have a question for you, Joe. What do you think Elvis would have made of this entire situation?
Well, Elvis is probably up in heaven, I hope, at the time, laughing at all this. I think it's a big joke. But then I think at other times he'd probably be very upset because it gives hope to people that got to realize, let him rest. Let him rest in peace. He's gone. Yes.
Powerful stuff, guys.
Now, like so many curious events surrounding the death of Elvis Presley, it all comes down to believers versus non-believers. But through all of these theories, something often gets left out. The kind of person that Elvis Presley really was.
It's all about love, people.
Was he the kind of person who could have done what some say he's done? Let's say for a moment, Elvis did fake his own death. He's changed his name, he's living a furtive lifestyle on the run, and yet he's finding the time to make phone calls, make records, and appear in some very unusual places. Could this man be Elvis Presley? When we come back, we're going to talk with someone who knew one side of Elvis better than anyone, and he believes he knows the answer. Joe, thank you very much for being here, and you stay with us. Thank you, Joe.
Joe, get the fuck out of the building, you jerk.
Could Elvis still be alive? Call 1-900-740-0410 from a touch-tone phone anytime during our broadcast and give your opinion. Our poll will be updated
I never stuck my wiener in a horse's ass.
Selected callers will be able to ask questions of our panel. Calls are $2 per minute, and callers under 18 need parental permission before calling. Who was the real Elvis Presley? One man knows.
There he is.
His closest friend and spiritual advisor, Larry Geller. When we come back, for the first time on television, Larry tells the real story.
There's the handler. There's the handler that probably killed him. I am your handler, Elvis. I call the shots.
The king of rock and roll.
Elvis did ball smack on stage?
I like you the best.
You got it. I always tell my customers, be sure to take your credit card receipts. I should have listened to myself. Citibank for me? The other day I got a call from Citibank. Hello? Seems somebody charged some pretty fancy stuff on my card number. Citibank suspected fraud. They said I wouldn't be responsible for
That's
the
another
charge.
scumbag, too. Hi, Ben Spoons.
Citibank, look out for my customers. Seems they're also
Leave it to me, Elvis.
Not just Visa, Citibank Visa.
Miller Lite salutes California's Olympic hopefuls. West Hill's Ellen Breen's march to a medal in freestyle
shit, look at her go.
skiing was slowed by a knee injury. With treatment, she hopes to be ready for Albertville.
Ever since I was a kid, I was thinking, God, that would be a great dream to come true. So I'm
Freestyle skiing, that ain't still a thing, is it? They had to have gotten rid of that.
knocking on wood, hoping that with my knee coming back strong, it'll
Shut up,
still
dork.
come true.
Ellen Breen, a California Olympic hopeful. This Albertville update has been brought to you by Miller Lite.
They would still do freestyle skiing, do they? Because that was dumb as fuck. Oh, shit!
It's it and that's that.
No nerds allowed.
Nothing beats it. You want the bar across the street.
Yeah, later, geek. No sniffers allowed, bro. Fuck yeah.
Universal Studios Hollywood and Channel 5 celebrate the movies. You can win tickets to an Academy Awards night party. Send us your name and address on a postcard that says KTLA is LA's movie station, and you'll automatically be entered into our drawing. 5 grand prize winners receive the Academy Awards party package, featuring a JVC camcorder.
Send something in.
Cassettes play on
I need that
NTSC
camcorder.
CR, hotel accommodations, and Hertz car rental. Celebrate the movies with Universal Studios Hollywood and Channel 5, LA's movie station.
Oh, it's on Habit. Well, that makes more sense, at least. I was just her going down the hill doing spins and shit. She dented my car. You beowulf. And I dented her dome. Oh, Smeech. Oh, shit. Oh, oh.
Tonight on Miller, a couple of chairs, a mic, and a kid with a dream.
They're going to ban breast implants for women, declare a moratorium on Porsche sales for men.
Joining Dennis is Louis
Anderson.
Anderson.
Make those kind of comments all the time. Don't
That's why Dennis made the big bucks,
Today,
guys.
Wednesday, all day.
Also tonight, Mr. Miller welcomes actress Shannon Doherty, Diane Ladd, and LA Laker Vlade Divac.
Whoever the fuck that is.
Tonight on the Dennis Miller Show.
Smell this!
Welcome back to the Elvis Conspiracy, brought to you from the Imperial Palace Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas.
I can say hands down this is one of the worst things I've ever seen. This has been terrible. I mean, funny, but absolutely terrible.
Swirling around his life and his death, it's easy to lose sight of the private Elvis Presley. His life has been the subject of countless books and studies, but most of these works suffer from one thing: they don't reflect the real Elvis. The Elvis.
Who cares about the real? I want to see him be still alive. Don't change the subject now that you got your balls handed to you.
And his family's members.
More Elvis sightings.
In 1964, our next guest started out working for Elvis in a humble capacity, his hairdresser. But soon Larry Geller became much more than that. He became a major influence on Elvis's life and was with him until 1977.
I want more Elvis sightings. The good old days.
Now, let's see, I met Elvis in February of 67. Now, that goes pretty far back.
Yeah.
But you go considerably farther back.
Yes. Here's how it started. Elvis invited me up to his house in Bel Air, 1964. Early 1964.
I fed him his first infant.
64.
I fed him his first white Christian baby.
Big house, too, I remember.
Yeah, right.
He said it was succulent.
Right over the golf course?
Yes.
And he was just finishing a film called Roustabout, and he wanted me to style his hair, which I did, which led into a 5-hour conversation about the meaning, the purpose of life. Elvis told me his life story. He told me about his mother. He cried. We got into so many areas, so many intimate areas.
It was just a natural, you just fell naturally in it.
We just clicked. It was just something that happened. And that night changed.
And then I threatened his life and his family's life. And then he said I could do whatever I wanted.
Of our lives. He said, you know, Larry, listening to you talk, I've always known my whole life there was an unseen hand guiding my life. In fact, why? In fact, he made this motion with his hand. He said, why was I plucked out of millions and millions of lives to be Elvis Presley? Why me? There's got to be a reason. So when he said that, I said, Elvis, I know some books. If you really want to get into this now, I know some books. If you're willing to read, he said, willing to read? Yeah, man, listen, you got to work for me. Our lives changed that night. Because over the years, I gave him hundreds of books.
From 1964 to 1977, Larry Geller and the books rarely left Elvis's side. Larry was with Elvis all the way until the end, and remembers that despite...
That guy's like a face, you know, like, oh man, stay away from that dude. You know what I mean? Stay the fuck away from that guy. That guy is a creep.
The spotlight.
The point is, Elvis was plagued with physical ailments. He was a man that was dying. He didn't want to die, but he was dying slowly. His last...
Notice he said he was dying, but the other guy was like, I don't know, the guy was stronger than shit, then he's dead. And this guy's like, oh, he was dying. I know for a fact he was dying.
Performance was in June 26, 1977, about 7 weeks before he died. And he was so ill. He knew how he looked. In fact, he said that night, he said, I know what people must think. So I tell you, I'm going to look at my coffin.
You're worth more to me dead than alive.
An omen, there's no doubt about it. But, you know, when someone says something like that, and I suspect...
And then I made sure our people had all the music roids.
Something in me knew that was quite possible. It was dismissed.
Run away, Bill, this guy's evil.
But he loved to perform. Bill, he said, Lisa Marie, my daughter, is the joy of my life. But performing, if you could only experience the joy, the rush of energy that I get on that stage, it's beyond anything I've ever experienced before.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Larry Geller. Welcome.
Yo.
Thank you, Bill. Good to be here.
Ugh, what a creep.
All right, welcome.
Brundlefly.
You were among the few people allowed to remain by Elvis when he was in his casket. Yes. In fact, you actually you dressed him for the funeral, and you even dyed his hair black. At the risk of seeming indelicate, was that really Elvis?
Bill, as long as I live, I'll never forget August 16th, 1977. Because that's the day Elvis died. And something deep inside of me...
You missed a good one, dude.
It's like time stood still.
It's not over yet, but you missed some good
Father
stuff.
Vernon asked me to please go to the mortuary to work on Elvis's hair, prepare him for the funeral. So the next morning, very
Right? This guy yapping, and maybe Elvis is alive.
Charlie Hodge, who worked for Elvis, and myself walked into the room at the mortuary, and there was Elvis.
Elvis's new name is Morty Schwartzman, and he lives in Tel Aviv.
Lying on a table with a sheet covered right up to right there.
Yes.
It was overwhelming to look at him, and I noticed right away.
Why is this guy calling the shots at Elvis's funeral? What the fuck is that about? Who the fuck is this dude?
Elvis really had white hair, and I dyed it black every 3 or 4 weeks. He had a regrowth of about 1 inch to 1.5 inches of white hair all over his sideburns, all over his hair. I wasn't prepared for it. So very quickly, there was a female attendant, and I asked her if she had any mascara.
Yeah.
Fortunately, she had black mascara.
Whoa.
So I took that little brush out.
I mean, it could have been purple mascara, guys.
Blended it into his hair.
Into his hairline.
Made it look as natural as possible. Proceeded to work on his hair. And to top everything off, the 2 other...
What a weird story, dude. What the fuck's wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? You mascaraed his hair, you fucking creep? Dude, you are fucking weird. Who cares if his hair's black? He's dead.
Attendants that were getting him ready removed the sheet, exposing his entire body. He's laying there.
What a weird story.
With incision marks from the autopsy.
Like, think about that. Think about this fucking creep mascaraing some dead dude's hair.
Crisscrossing his torso.
Fucking ghoul.
Bill, you know me. I have worked on Elvis for over 14 years. Thousands of times. If you only knew how much I wish he was with us right here, right now.
Dude,
but that was
you're the
Elvis.
most insincere guy I've ever seen.
That was Elvis.
All right, let me ask you something. How seriously, I'm just changing the subject for a moment.
Okay.
How seriously did Elvis take law enforcement?
The FBI, bomb squads, local police, his own security force, which was a real good one. Protected his life.
I'm telling you.
Our life, his family's life, the fans' life.
No, they always have some creepy handler, these music people. It's always some guy,
Deep
some
admiration.
creepy sniffer guy.
Deep respect. And so he collected badges. He was a marshal.
With respect for law enforcement.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
In a very major way, because he knew the importance.
And you were saying that he I'm sorry, I interrupted you. He was collecting badges.
He collected badges. He was an honorary marshal. He was an honorary sheriff, DEA agent.
Mm-hmm.
He was an honorary police commissioner. But he was honorary. That's it. End of story.
Now, why do you think so many people believe that Elvis...
No, Elvis was a real secret agent who was kicking ass all over the world.
Still alive?
Elvis is the biggest star.
I know, and Elvis knew karate.
It never happened. There'll never be another Elvis. He made such an impact upon people's lives. His energy is still rippling around this planet. It's going to go on and it will never stop.
But is he still alive?
To really understand this phenomenon, we have to understand that in a spiritual sense, he's still alive.
What do you mean by the spiritual sense?
Steven Seagal was the only man who survived the training.
Michael Landon, John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King, you, me, everyone that's listening to us right now, they're going to go through that doorway of death. Death is not...
Hope you're not there, dude. I hope you're not there.
A doorway to a new beginning, to the natural eternalness
All right,
of our
dude, wrap it
soul.
up.
That's what
What the
life
fuck are you
is all
talking
about. This is the fact of existence. Elvis went through that door. He didn't die.
Bill Bixby said to this guy, look, dude, that Joe guy fucking killed us to kill their fucking show, please. You just got to yap for like 10 minutes. All I need is 10 minutes from you, Geller. 10 minutes, dude. Please, we're dying.
He went through the door.
and I got a shit.
He went on. Elvis
So let's
went
go.
on, just like we're all going to go on. So in a very special sense, Elvis lives on in his music, in his films, in our memories, but most importantly,
it's all about
is in
love,
our
right?
hearts. Elvis is still with us.
All right. At the beginning of this broadcast, we said that we'd have some answers for you about whether or not Elvis Presley is alive. And it all comes down to who and what you believe.
So basically, you gave us no fucking answer, Bixby.
Believer, there isn't any explanation
He's still
required.
alive.
And for the skeptic, there isn't any explanation possible. We'll be right back.
No, that's got to be it, dude. You got to go. You got to fucking go. There was like 10 minutes of like Elvis stuff, and then like the last like hour and 20 minutes was blowing it all up.
We'll be back in a moment.
The Hogan Kiss Cam was real.
The Elvis Conspiracy.
He was so butthurt about that.
Sponsored in part by Jif. For more fresh roasted peanut taste and aroma, choosy moms, choose Jif.
We got the best books in the library.
Oh, hello there, little
Picked up some
fellows.
books for Billy, too. Great choices. And then we went shopping. Cindy, what's that? Peanut butter.
Man, don't bring that shitty ass peanut butter here, you fucking ass motherfucker. You bring that good shit, man. Bring that Jif, you stupid ass bilf.
Smells okay. Now my Jif.
Man, smell that bilf.
Smells more like fresh roasted peanuts. Yeah. Now taste Jif.
No, Dad, even back then.
Wow, Jif tastes more like fresh peanuts. Like right
Thanks
out
for
of
the
the
peanut butter, you
We've got
corny
new
ass
peanut butter.
biffs, you goofy ass
Right,
looking
Bill?
dude.
Hey, you just wrote the book on peanut butter. Oh, clever.
For more fresh roasted peanut taste, choosy moms choose Jif.
No, you go ahead, honey. My throat really hurts.
When your throat is sore and it's
I was
feeling
sucking
raw,
peckers all
Sucrets
last
wraps
night.
your throat in soothing relief.
Much better.
Only Sucrets has diclonine for long-lasting
Poor little
relief.
guy, up all night
Sucrets
sucking
wraps
peckers.
your throat in soothing relief.
Suffering for it the next day.
It's good. It's real good.
It's home cooking soup.
I remember these gay commercials.
No? Well, better let me check. Gee, I'd say perfect. Charlie, what do you say?
Celery and carrots are mighty good.
Well, Stan, how about you?
Chicken's delicious. Noodles, too.
Golly, Fred, looks like you got nothing to complain about.
Gee, guys.
You ate my soup, you cocksuckers.
Don't mention it.
Our pleasure.
The name is home cooking, and so is the taste. From Campbell's.
I hate cleaning twice. Spray cleaner for
Get used to it, bitch.
Then
This is
glass
your
cleaner for the
life. Get used to it, bitch. This is your life now. And if you try to leave, I'll kill you.
Don't clean it twice. Cinch it once. New Cinch from Spick and Span. It's the first cleaner that really cleans grease, even on glass, without streaking. Glass cleaners can't always get the grease, and spray cleaners can leave streaks. Either way, you'd have to clean twice. But New Cinch gets the grease and the streaks, even on glass. Don't clean it twice, cinch it once.
I'll borrow my mother's earrings, her scarf.
Oh,
but
the
my mother's
tampon commercial
tampons-
again?
No way! I found new Ultimate cardboard applicator tampons from Playtex. Great protection, plus a curved cardboard applicator. Ultimate. It's not your mother's tampon.
Start healing your dry skin from the inside
I'm
out.
sorry, I have to distract myself because
With Jergens Advanced Therapy Lotion.
this was a terrible TV
Jergens
show.
penetrates to attract your body's inner moisture, so it heals dryness from the inside out. Introduce your skin to Jergens.
Elvis.
Welcome back to the Elvis Conspiracy.
Throughout the course of this broadcast, we've been conducting a phone poll, logging callers from around
We
the
got
United
Baba Booeyed 800,000 times in an hour and 40 minutes.
States on whether or not they believe Elvis Presley could still be alive. Now let's see our final tally.
Oh, negative. You missed. This show got Baba Booeyed.
It's changed a little, but not that much.
Elvis is alive, you
Now, I'm curious,
motherfucker.
After all that you've seen this evening, how many of you in our audience think that Elvis Presley could still be alive? May I see some hands? And those that believe he has passed on? All right, thank you. Now, last August, when I first appeared before you, I mentioned the importance of having an open mind.
Well, they didn't get Baba booed, but some guy said, I don't know, brought up Howard Stern.
And through these 2 broadcasts, I've tried to keep an open mind myself. But in my personal opinion, I believe...
Bixby, you only got a couple of minutes left. Just admit you did it for the check, dude. Save some dignity. It's live. You'll get away with it. I just did this for the money, dude.
Sadly, that Elvis did pass away on August 16th, 1977.
Oh, the bait and switch!
I also believe that in a very special, sublime sense, Elvis Presley will never die. And he'll be alive as long as people love him and cherish his memory. I'm Bill Bixby. Thank you very much.
No, they said Elvis is still alive and he's Howard Stern now, something like that. Something to that effect. I think this show is what killed him. He's like, dude, I ruined my career. What was left of it? Maybe Geller took him out. There's that. Look, Elvis is alive. He's right there. Do you actually know how to play guitar, dude? You don't even know how to play guitar, you jerk. Man, you were been Elvis for like 40 years and you can't even learn a couple cheesy chords? You cheesy bitch. That guy's been impersonating Elvis for decades and can't learn a couple cheesy chords on the guitar. Dumb chords. Stupid asshole. All right, I can't take it anymore. All right, we got one more Elvis thing. Punk Rock sent us this one. Oops. Oh my god. That was embarrassing. Like I said, I remember that getting made fun of so bad, like in the early 90s. Wait, was it on? We still got more Elvis goodness, guys. This was from 1990. I was so young. I was the young age of 37 back then. Without Elvis, none of us would have made it. Nothing really affected me until Smelvis. There have been contenders, but there is only one king. He told white America to get down. It was Elvis who really got me hooked on beat music when I heard Heartbreak Hotel. I can't read these fast enough. That's Smelvis.
Elvis, a name more.
Hold on, let me see. Is this? I gotta make sure this isn't copyrighted. The other one wasn't. Okay, good. Just making sure.
Than that of any world leader or Hollywood
I love you,
superstar.
Elvis.
Elvis. He sold more than 1 billion records, starred in 31.
That's half as much as the Milkers Band sold, bro.
And appeared on dozens of TV programs. Elvis. He's been the subject of countless TV documentaries, hundreds of books, and thousands of newspaper and magazine articles. He is worth more today than he was at the peak of his career.
Yeah. Thanks, Geller. I make all the money now. That bitch is losing her mind. Look at him go.
Elvis Presley still generates well over $500 million in revenue.
Yeah, but wasn't she like 14? His wife. Didn't he marry like a 14-year-old or something?
So much larger than life is his talent, fame, and influence that Elvis can never really die.
Elvis was covering Joe Ted songs. That's why he got famous.
The king still lives, and his reported death in 1977 was the only safe way for Elvis to retire.
No, Elvis could have retired him just fine. What are they going to do? Elvis wasn't even that big when he fucking retired, right? It was like 77. Everyone was over Elvis by that point. That's 13. Well, when she grew up, she was great in Naked Gun.
For many years, rumors have persisted that Elvis is still alive. In a few moments, you'll meet private investigators, former federal agents, and Elvis experts who have startling evidence that the king still lives. August 16, 1977. The entire world mourns as we are told that the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley, is dead. There were documents, the open coffin, news reports, an endless stream of mourners, and even a death certificate. But had Elvis left the building forever? The author of this book, Is Elvis Alive? Gail Brewer George.
Oh, she was 20. Oh, you're saved, dude. You're saved, negative. She was 21 when they got married.
Believes that Elvis staged his own death and is still alive today. In 1977, she began writing a novel based on this premise called Orion.
Well, it was August 16th, 1977.
Finally, some fucking Elvis experts.
And I, like most of the world, had heard that Elvis Presley had died. About 3 days later, after writing several articles on Elvis for the newspaper, I decided to write a novel. It was called Orion. It's a fictional story of a superstar who hoaxes his own death.
Like Elvis!
I wanted to try to capture the soul or the essence of someone like Elvis Presley. Orion was ultimately sold to Simon & Schuster. I received a large advance of $60,000.
Righteous bucks.
There was going to be a big PR promotion, etc., on this book, and the book was released. But a short time after it was released, I was receiving telephone calls that my book wasn't to be found. A lady from Pennsylvania called me, and she said that she had gone to the store to try to get it, and the woman who owned the store...
No, she's telling the truth, Stillborn.
...said 2 men in business suits had come in, bought all the books up. I called up New York. I would leave my name. They wouldn't call me back. You know, what was going on? I mean, why pay an author... You know, this is quite a few years ago, and $60,000 up front was a nice sum for a first author, but why pay an author and then you don't put their books back in the store? I mean, logically...
They bought it to shut you up, lady.
Makes sense. Well, they wouldn't return my phone call, so I even called the distributor. And he said they told me to pull the book.
Meanwhile, an investigator for the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department had
She was too close to the truth.
Amazingly similar experience. His name is Monty Nicholson.
No, she's onto something.
Orion and my book, The Presley Arrangement, were written at approximately the same period of time at different ends of the continent. Gail Giorgio and myself did not even know of one another. And yet, we wrote the same identical facts surrounding the mystery of Elvis's alleged death.
Well, my book was better because that bitch is cheesy.
Different independent sources. Other coincidences that occurred. My book, The Presley Arrangement, as did Gail's book, Orion, disappeared from the shelves shortly after it was published.
What?
When I questioned my publicists about this phenomenon, why friends of mine would go to a bookstore and try to order the book, and they would actually refuse to order it, he said in 35 years in the publishing industry, he'd never heard of such a thing. When I talked to Gail Giorgio, she was getting the same story.
Can you believe that?
Were the fictional stories in the novels Orion and the Presley arrangement too close to the truth? Almost immediately after Elvis's reported death, puzzling questions left unanswered began surfacing.
Why did the Memphis police officially close the files on the death of Elvis Presley before it was even medically or scientifically possible to determine why and how he died?
You better get to some Elvis sightings, dude, because this is boring.
Why were all the stomach contents destroyed pre-autopsy? Remember,
Because it was mostly semen. It was mostly semen, lady.
this negates a thorough autopsy. Why was there never a coroner's inquest? Why was the Shelby County District Attorney's Office never officially notified?
Let me guess, she's dead now. I bet you they killed her.
To determine if there were any violations of criminal law? Why have all the photographs taken at the death scene disappeared? Why have
I think it's made by the same people.
the notes prepared?
Because they kept referring to the Elvis files, so I think this is made by the same people.
By the medical examiner's office. Why have they disappeared from the official files? Why have all the toxicology reports disappeared from the official files?
Gail Giorgio obtained a copy of Elvis's autopsy report. Together, Gail and I viewed this report. In 18 years, I've viewed many autopsy reports, and I've been present during several autopsies myself.
Ugh. Why? You're just a cheesy author. Why are you watching autopsies, you creep? Oh, yeah, get the rib cage. Oh, that's the good stuff.
So I'm very familiar with what goes on at an
autopsy. Oh, yeah, peel the face off.
And I'm very familiar with what goes in an autopsy report. In these reports, they're very comprehensive. They give organ weight and size, skin coloration. They give things like the percentage of blockage in the subject's cardiovascular system. They give the coloration of the skin, the weight of the person, whether or not there's any foul play.
Why is this guy present in autopsies? Who would allow that?
Evidence of foul play. And usually these autopsy reports are 40 or 50 pages long, and they're very in-depth. The autopsy report that I viewed with Gail is 2 pages long. It lacks any of the significant information that is normally found in an autopsy report.
That's because Elvis went back to his home planet, dude. And he didn't die. He just went back home.
And during the course of any normal investigation, this autopsy report would be incomplete and unacceptable. It's my opinion that a coroner that would even present an autopsy report like this should probably be investigated himself.
Do you speak any slower, dude?
Suggested that the body on view in the open casket at Elvis's wake was not Elvis Presley at all.
It's people that went by the body in the
It
coffin
was, in fact, Norman Fell.
were heard to say that does not look like Elvis Presley. They were saying the nose is pugged. Elvis had a very classical nose. They noticed beads of sweat on the body in the coffin, and, you know, dead bodies don't sweat.
Good point. That's a good point.
Elvis Presley's first cousin remained close to the king throughout his life. He also did not believe that the body lying in state in the open coffin was that of his cousin, Elvis Presley.
What?
When we viewed the body...
Here we go. Professor Big Brain right here.
Last time, I stood there quite a while.
I took the butcher knife and put it up to her neck. I said, if you want to live to see tomorrow, you better be cooking them eggs a little bit better than you've been cooking them. I'm tired of sloppy, slimy eggs.
Looking at his hands, and of course he was always breaking bricks with his hands.
Breaking bricks?
He had calluses on the bottom of his hand, and big old rough-looking knuckles. His nose looked kind of puggy looking, and his right sideburn was sticking out straight out looked about an inch, and his hairline looked as if it had been a hairpiece.
It's a nice suit, though. You got to give him that.
Something glued on somewhere. It just didn't look right. And his hands was just as smooth as a newborn's baby's behind, you know. Game over, yeah!
Bill Bixby, no!
Maybe Thurman isn't dead. This really makes me think.
Oh, shit. Maybe Thurman was Elvis, and then he died. Think about that. Thanks, Bill Bixby.
Around his hairline.
It's a lot to think
It
about.
could have been sweat. It could have been glue. I don't know. But
if it was glue, I would have sniffed it.
I just didn't believe it was him.
He wanted us.
Maria Columbus, co-president of one of the oldest Elvis fan clubs, was shocked by the news of Elvis's death. She immediately contacted Elvis's father, Vernon Presley.
And he asked us not to come out, that he wanted us to come to Memphis a week later. He said that it was too hectic, there were too many people, the press was there, all family members that they had ever acknowledged were coming to
You saw
Memphis.
Thurman at the Cracker Barrel? Oh, Thurman.
And that it would be more quiet and more beneficial for us to talk to him a week later. So we agreed. We arrived the next week, and the whole feeling of it was a feeling of
Thurman is in fact dead.
make-believe. It was
Unfortunately.
unreality. When we went to the
I got called the dog last week. Maybe that was Thurman.
mausoleum, it was
An Australian guy came out of the woods. I was getting the mail. He ran out of the woods and called me a dog and then ran away.
an atmosphere of a carnival. There were people selling popcorn and soft drinks. There were people running up and down, and people standing in front of the doors of the mausoleum posing for pictures with the security guards. It didn't feel real. It felt like it was a game. And we didn't feel that Elvis's spirit was there. We felt
What? Lady, shut up. You're not offering anything.
a coldness and
What?
Like it was a big joke. That was the week that we saw a copy of
Oh, so basically what you're trying to say is you don't have jack shit.
inventory of Elvis's estate. It was 84 pages long, but it was 84 pages too short. There were a lot of things that were missing that should have been there. This was an inventory of everything that was in Graceland at the time. And there were no photographs of his mother listed, no photographs of his daughter. His diaries were missing. Most of
Elvis had a diary.
his jewelry was gone. He had maybe 5 pieces of jewelry listed, and everybody knows Elvis loved jewelry, and he had a tremendous amount of rings and watches and necklaces, pendants.
It would have been
None of those
great.
were there. Some of his cars were missing.
I don't think this lady I think she's just an idiot. But those other guys, they're definitely
plane was
hucksters.
It was unbelievable. And we were talking to fans who were still there, who had seen Elvis lying in state, and they said it didn't look like him.
Why are we speaking to her again?
And the gravesite itself raises questions in Maria's mind.
Vernon spelled Elvis's name on the gravestone with 2 A's, even though he officially changed the spelling of his name.
Well, you know they're dumb hillbillies, right? You know they're fucking from the sticks.
Birth certificate from 2 A's to 1 A. Also, Elvis went by 1 A. He signed his contract with 1 A. His marriage license had 1 A. His army papers had 1 A. Another thing that's unusual is the position of the burial plots. Elvis is not placed next to his mother. He is between his grandmother and Vernon.
What difference does it make?
That is not what Elvis wanted in the first place. And the fans have been commenting about this quite a lot.
But was there proof Elvis was still alive? About 4 months after Elvis's reported death, Mike Joseph and his family drove to Graceland to view and take photos of Elvis's grave.
Or finally some proof.
1977 when I took my wife and my son and my nephew down to Graceland. They had just opened up Memory Gardens where Elvis was laid to rest. And we were there for an hour and left back for home. Had the pictures developed and
The guy looks like a trustworthy dude, right?
looked at them, put them away. One day after reading a book, I decided to look at my pictures again. I pulled them out.
This is funny. I've seen this.
And this time, I saw something in one of the pictures that I hadn't seen over the years that I was
It's so dumb, too.
looking at them. Of course, I wasn't really studying them, but the sun had just hit on this picture in such a way that it picked up this image sitting in the doorway, a shadow in the doorway. For curiosity's sake, not that I'd know who was there, I wanted to see what it was. I took my son's magnifying glass, put it on the picture, started pulling it away from the picture to get a good visible view of it. And I was
No, if they dig up the body, they'll know Elvis is alive.
shocked. I could not believe what I saw. My God, I had Elvis Presley sitting in the doorway, looking out.
You know, this is like the greatest thing this guy's ever done, right? It's a stupid Elvis picture.
At the fans walking past his grave. I've had the negatives examined by Kodak.
It's a reflection,
And Kodak,
dude.
Basically says that
Wait till you see this
they,
picture.
are original.
You've probably seen it already.
Have not been tampered with in any way. They were taken in sequence, uncut by the negatives, being original. They can tell. The emulsion number of the film was manufactured in '77. Each roll of film that is manufactured.
All right, let's see the picture.
Manufacturing date on it in the emulsion number. You couldn't pay Kodak to say something like that if it weren't true. This is the first shot that we took. We couldn't go near the house.
This is a stupid picture.
Security guard's car. It was sort of makeshift then because it was too early. It wasn't really opened up as a museum yet, so the house was closed to the public. This is Elvis's headstone.
He just gets up and starts singing.
And right here in the corner is his mother. So this show that was taken after August 1677 and before 79 when his father died, because his father would be right over here, and 80, his grandmother, Minnie May. This is the shot that I took of the people walking and the bathhouse in the distance. We zero in here, and this is the same shot with just
This is the same
no one
shot.
sitting in the chair. So that shows it was not a picture of someone sitting in a chair. He liked that chair. That was one of his favorite chairs. He even got his haircuts in that chair at times. This is the view he would be seeing. He would be seeing
We're gonna see
us
Elvis,
sitting
guys.
there and the people walking past his headstone. This is my son once again blocking the doorway, and of course the picture where I first spotted the silhouette in the doorway.
Oh shit, guys! It's Elvis! All right, dude. Let's say this is really Elvis, okay? If you were faking your own death and you were Elvis, why would you be at fucking Graceland? It makes no fucking sense. Anywhere else, go to Ohio. Ohio makes more sense. There he is, guys. It's Elvis. Hiding in plain sight. It's a ghost!
Monty Nicholson also saw a picture, allegedly taken after Elvis's death.
I had a coworker.
Yeah, that's pretty clearly a reflection. There's probably some shitty, fucking stupid Elvis impersonator there.
Who in passing one day told me that he used to work for Elvis Presley. And he had some pictures that I might be interested in. Well, one day he showed up at work and he had
Why would you be at Graceland?
pictures of Elvis Presley getting in a helicopter that, for all intents and purposes, looked like a government helicopter. And there were men surrounding Elvis also getting into the helicopter who looked like what we often see depicted as government agents with the
shit.
blazers and the wire in their ear and whatnot.
Oh, they had blazers, guys. They were agents.
And it was an
So
interesting
are you an
picture,
agent, dude?
although that picture in itself was not particularly suspicious because it's common knowledge
You're
Elvis
fake your own death and show up to work the next day.
was involved.
Wait a minute. Maybe he's not dead. No, he's got to be dead. Wait, what?
An honorary police officer with many police agencies all over the country. The interesting thing, the curious thing about the picture was this individual claimed,
I'm just saying, if I'm Elvis and I fake my own death, I'm not gonna fucking hang out at Graceland. I might go to Dollywood. I'm gonna hang out at fucking Dollywood.
this picture was taken
I'm a ghost.
several hours after Elvis allegedly died at Graceland Mansion. So I looked at the pictures with a natural curiosity and began to work with the idea of writing a novel. While I was
My first draft was written with crayons. Crayola brand, to be precise.
in this novel, I had a running conversation with the guy that showed the pictures to me for probably 6 or 8 months that we worked together. He quit the department and was gone for several months, and I didn't think much about him. He had the pictures.
And in the meantime, I watched a bunch of autopsies in the dark.
His possession. I didn't have the pictures, and there was no actual way for me to verify the validity of the date of the pictures. But at the time, I was only writing a fiction novel, and I didn't need to. So it wasn't important in my mind.
Good job, Elvis impersonator.
But later, as I gained more and more information...
If I was Elvis, right, and I wanted to fake my own death, I'd be like, dude, I got enough money. I need the easy life. I'd get a hot dog cart. I would get a hot dog cart and be the hot dog dude.
I decided...
Craig died too? That guy's kind of a jerk, right?
See if
Craig 2 is way better.
Some factual way of verifying the date those pictures were taken, because I might really be on to the modern mystery of our decade. So I tried to recontact this individual, and when I found him, he denied ever showing me the pictures. He denied any past...
That's what I'm saying, dude. I'm fucking hot dog carting it.
...affiliation with Elvis Presley. And I told him at the time, I said, wait a minute. I'm not crazy. I remember our conversations, and I remember them very well, and I need to meet with you and talk to you about this. Are you willing to do that? He agreed. He gave me...
This guy is the bathroom break portion of this.
address and a phone number where he might be contacted, and we agreed upon a date and a time for an appointment. The address
Get a limo drive bars in Michigan. Yeah, dive bars.
Vacant house, and the phone number provided was a disconnected number. And I have never been able to find him since. I have no idea where he is at or the pictures. But I know that this event occurred, and I've been an investigator for 10 of the last 18 years that I've been a policeman.
That's true, Craig.
And I know that my powers of perception and reason are working very well, and that I didn't imagine what happened to me.
Another unusual fact surfaced when Gail Giorgio began researching Elvis Presley's involvement with law enforcement.
He had always had a love of law enforcement. He had worked, he was a bonded deputy with the Memphis police. He was connected with, what was it, the
Elvis was a cop groupie.
Denver police in Colorado.
Denver police, yes.
He was connected
California.
with the LAPD.
I want one video of Elvis breaking bricks.
So his interest in law and order went back many, many years, and in fact, when he was voted the most outstanding young man in America by the JCs,
that could be the name of his car.
His work also in drug enforcement. So he was sincere in wanting a federal badge, and he wrote Nixon a letter on the airplane, American Airlines, and offered his services as an agent at large. He said basically because of who he was, he could probably get to people that other people could not get to.
Elvis wrote this letter to then-President Richard Nixon while on an airplane headed for Washington, D.C. Dear Mr. President, first, I would like to introduce myself. I am Elvis Presley and admire you and have great respect for your office.
Man, what a kiss-ass, Elvis. Jeez. Self-respect, dude.
I talked to Vice President Agnew in Palm Springs 1 week ago and expressed my concerns for our country. The drug culture, the hippie elements, the SDS, Black Panther, etc., do not consider me as their enemy, or as they call it, the establishment. I call it America.
Oh, shit.
And I love it. Sir, I can and will be of any service that I can to help the country out.
So if we fucking went to the CIA.
I have no concerns or motives other than helping the country out. So I wish not to be given a title or an appointed position. I can and will do more good if I remain a federal agent at large. I will help, but by doing it my way, through my communications with people of all ages. First and foremost, I am an entertainer, but all I need is the federal credentials. I am on the plane with Senator George Murphy, and we have been discussing the problems that our country is faced with. So I am staying at the Washington Hotel, room 505, 506, 507.
I like the championship belt Elvis has.
I am registered under the name of John Burrows.
Nixon's like, look at this ridiculous dude. Look at this guy. What a goof. You know, Nixon called him after he left. Nixon was quick to call someone a handy.
Here for as long as it takes to get the credentials of a federal agent.
I was told that if I checked this letter against Elvis's death certificate, which obviously had to be filled out, quote, after he died, I would find out.
I want Elvis
that
sightings.
Elvis Presley filled out and signed his own death certificate. Now, this is incredible information. I mean, this is mind-boggling when you think about it. It's never been revealed, and I can tell you that I was told by a member of the family to have it checked out.
Gail took the death certificate and items written by Elvis to Paul Wiest, a certified graphologist who specializes in investigating forgeries.
I was asked by Gail Giorgio to examine some handwriting of Elvis Presley. She supplied me with a copy of a letter written to President Nixon in 1970 and the death certificate or medical examiner's report at the time of his reported death. I examined these two documents and compared them by measuring the slant of the handwriting.
And making fun of what's his face, Ben Stein.
The spacing between the letters, spacing between the words, the size of the letters, and the individual letter formations. I also made transparent photocopies where I could lay one photocopy, a transparent copy on top of another one for close comparison. I examined these under transmitted light with a light table. Result of my examination
We did this last time.
I found that the slant matched on both documents, that the size of the letters was the same, the spacing between the letters was the same, and many of the individual letter forms were the same. My conclusions after this exhaustive examination was,
It's Elvis.
my professional opinion as a document examiner, that the same person who wrote the letter to President Nixon also wrote the Elvis Presley death certificate or medical examiner's report.
He filled out his own death certificate? How would Elvis even know what to do that?
But the question still remains. Why would Elvis Presley fake his own death? Was it simply so he could retire from the limelight?
That's not Elvis. Elvis had too much of that goose shit, man. This is Elvis's James Hogan period. I'm 34 years old. I've never had a girlfriend. Hogan like features exactly.
As many believe, was it because of Elvis's involvement in state and federal affairs, such as the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Agency? It was in 1970 when Elvis received a federal badge from President Richard M. Nixon.
They're honorary badges, dude. They gave them to every stupid celebrity. I think even Steven Seagal has a bunch of them.
We know that it's not a token badge because, there was a article by Jack Anderson in the Washington Post
was Elvis?
that told about Elvis being sworn in as a federal agent. I think Elvis purposely low-keyed his role as a government agent for...
I think Elvis wasn't thinking about shit except pills. Pills and fried nanner sandwiches.
effectiveness in acting in an undercover role.
Maria
That would be awesome. What a twist.
Was also researching
Taylor
Elvis's
Swift
life.
just two of those badges.
I had toured
Dude,
Grace-
I bet she does. They give those out to every douchebag celebrity.
And I had noticed in the trophy room a certificate of appreciation from the government to Elvis. And so I wrote to that particular bureau and asked, why was this given to Elvis? This was in 1982. And I received an answer from a Mr. Pritchett, saying that Elvis had provided cover for an undercover narcotics agent from the years of 1974 through 1976.
How? How?
The man was a musician and posed as part of his band.
Elvis is connected also with President Carter. We know by several biographies that 2 weeks, I believe, prior to August the 16th, the FBI arranged a telephone call with Elvis and President Carter.
That's the lady who's going to get A turd on her dome. That lady's going to get the turd dome special. There she goes.
Call with Elvis and
Not the turd
President
dome.
Carter. Not only do we have Elvis connected with 2 United States presidents, I don't know about you, but I don't think I'd get an appointment that easy. And I think if I wanted to call, say, President Carter, I couldn't really call the FBI and say, would you put a call through? This is the kind of clout Elvis had, but his clout run in a very official way. He was a federal agent. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I have read 663 FBI files on Elvis
Michael
Presley.
Bolton was also a federal agent, believe it or not.
And his life was in danger. It's clear by the FBI reports. There were serious assassination threats made against him.
That's every celebrity.
Gail Giorgio and myself viewed FBI documents obtained by Gail. In these documents, Elvis was the subject of numerous death threats. Some of these threats came from well-known underground figures, and it was also common knowledge that an undercover agent traveled as one of Elvis's band members. It's because of this affiliation that Elvis
Oh,
had
it was that Geller dude. That Geller's the agent.
with government agencies.
Urkel was a
Because of
Fed?
these
I'd
death
believe
threats,
that.
And the fact that this agent traveled as one of his band members that lead us to believe that the strong possibility exists he may very well be a part of the witness protection program. But being a member of the law enforcement community myself, this prevents me from ever undermining any efforts of another law enforcement agency.
Shut up, you dork.
And it also prevents me from telling you the answer to this question.
Bono's a Fed?
Which I know is the truth.
Get Elvis, idiots. The only thing like they showed was that fucking that photo, that stupid photo. Getting played or fed. What about Fat Boys? Fred Durst. I love you, Elvis.
Yet, if Elvis Presley were alive, many questions still needed
Get out of
to
here,
be
Bill.
answered. It was Monty Nicholson's investigation which started to unravel the mystery.
One of the questions I asked myself while researching
Why haven't I killed myself 30 years ago? That's a very good question.
the Presley arrangement was, if Elvis did indeed fake his death, how would he support himself? He would need
I already hacked those computers years
Three
ago.
facts came to light when I began to research this question. My sources tell me that in March of 1977, a full 3 months before Elvis died,
Dave Matthews.
he cashed in 3 life insurance policies
Dave Matthews did work at the bathhouses trying to find drug deals.
for just shy of $2 million. Shortly
Yeah, I
after
bullied that manlet all the time, giving him wedgies and shit. Giving Fred Durst a wedgie so big his feet left the ground.
his death, fact number 2, there was a checking account, a private checking account, with an excess of $1 million that vanished and has not been explained as yet.
Hack attack were feds? Oh, man. I believe that.
Third fact, there's still a remaining insurance policy that is yet to be cashed. What is the significance of this? It's just this. The 3 life insurance policies that were cashed were paid up. There's no fraud involved. Those life insurance policies are owned by the insured.
What?
The third policy...
You got any paperwork to back that up, dude? Because you're kind of just a dude saying things. I mean, it'd be cool if you could back that up a little bit, you know what I mean? I don't know, maybe just a little, you know?
See?
Because you're just saying a bunch of things.
Or the remaining policy, I should say, was not paid up. If a surviving heir would cash in that policy and the person who was insured were still alive, that would be insurance fraud.
I heard Elvis's partner in the CIA was Gallagher.
The checking account I can't explain. It vanished. $1 million.
Oh, Pickles is a definite Fed.
Is Elvis still alive? The feasibility certainly seems to be getting stronger.
Fred Rerun Barry was was also a sidekick to Elvis on his Fed adventures.
Giorgio and others believe that Elvis is alive and well. And
Fred Rerun Barry could kill you just with his pinky in seconds.
In Kalamazoo, Michigan.
There was a newspaper article actually in Kalamazoo right before August 16th of 77, and it said that Elvis visited Kalamazoo incognito. But he had been seen there, and there's been some jokes, Burger King, shopping malls, etc. And people, I don't know if they actually believed it or it was just a joke or they thought they saw. But what happened was that I had received a telephone call some years ago from a woman who was a nurse at a hospital in New York City.
Right.
And she said that Muhammad Ali had been a patient.
Pickles is also a Shriner, too.
And while at the hospital, she said a man who looked identical to Elvis Presley visited Ali. Now, most people do realize that Muhammad Ali and Elvis were very, very close friends. They saw each other.
Both Feds?
He would visit Ali at his training camps and so forth. But there wasn't too much I could do about the information because it wasn't verifiable. Then, I guess, a couple of years ago...
Yeah, but Elvis breaks bricks, which means he would have fucked Muhammad Ali up.
I received a telephone call and a letter from a woman from Ohio. And she had
Kennison was just a fat, smelly guy with a comb over.
And she said that when Ali was leaving the hospital, it was a UPI story, leaving the hospital, he left with other men. It was on a Thursday night that they had left. And one of the men was Jesse Jackson. There was another unidentified man.
Is that the one where they wear the red shoes?
And a fourth man who was captured. And it looks identical to Elvis Presley. The negative to that picture has disappeared, but the picture did appear in the newspaper, and I managed...
Where? Let's see. Is that supposed to be him?
There was another...
Hey, but if this was supposed to be after his death, Elvis was a big, fat, greasy guy. They're like, that's old Elvis. That ain't current fat Elvis.
Identified man with Ali, and a fourth man who was captured. And it doesn't
look like Elvis
Presley. The negative to that picture has disappeared, but the picture did appear in the newspaper, and I managed, of course, to get a copy of it. We sent it to experts who do facial analysis and so forth, where they compare it to other pictures of Elvis, and it matched up. They said they tried to find flaws, but they couldn't. I mean, they measure nose to lips.
So what is Elvis doing then? And okay, Elvis is alive, right? Okay, well, what the fuck is he doing? Why is he going to Ohio? He has to do something with his time. He's not just going to sit on his ass. He's got to be up to something. What is Elvis doing if he's still alive?
They verified that it was Elvis Presley. And in November of '89...
Click stamps?
Ali was shown the picture, and he also verified that it was Elvis Presley. It was actually, the picture was even shown to one of the, to Billy Stanley, one of Elvis'
The Home Alone one is funny.
And he verified also that it was Elvis Presley. Now what's interesting about this, tying this into Kalamazoo, is that Ali lives right outside of Kalamazoo.
Call that living?
He lives in Berrien Springs, but he uses the Kalamazoo postmark. It's always stamped on all his envelopes. So therefore, when you put it all together, the sightings begin to make sense.
In 1980, Maria received a tape from another Elvis investigator, Stephen C. Chances.
Elvestigator. Come on, dude. You had one job. It's Elvestigator, not investigator.
Elvestigator. Was a recording allegedly made by Elvis Presley. Gail Giorgio decided to find out if the recording was authentic.
Even though it was called a monologue, it really wasn't. He had been
Maybe you're Elvis negative.
Over the telephone to somebody, and whoever he was talking to edited themselves out. But I finally contacted a voice authentication expert who works with the government, and he's with a major law enforcement agency in Texas by the name of L.H.
Big Mac could be Elvis. I could see that.
Gail had sent me a copy of a transcript of the tape recording of the unknown person, and this was 4 pages long. In this process, I also requested copies of known tape recordings of Elvis Presley, and I followed the guidelines that were established during the Watergate case for possible authentication of the tape recording. I selected the same words and phrases of the known and the unknown person for comparison purposes. This is the known sample of Elvis Presley stating the word music.
These are the weirdest sound things, or sound grabs, whatever the fuck you call them.
This is a sample from the unknown tape recording showing the word music. The formats that were formed fall within the same frequency range through here, which would indicate a match.
Doesn't that mean jack shit, dude? It's gonna take me seriously, please. I'm a science guy.
Basically, the known voice of Elvis Presley compared with...
You know what's funny? As soon as Windows 95 came out, this guy's job was fucking over. Anyone could look at sound waves.
Voice on this tape is the
oh
same.
man, I'm over. I'm done
What was
with.
said on the tape became even more meaningful to me. The more I listened to it, the more I became aware of how sensitive Elvis was, how caring a person he was. He said things like this.
I started traveling all over the world, and it's been enjoyable, but it's
Man, this Elvis, what an interesting guy.
a constant battle of growing beards and this and that to keep from being recognized. Anyway, the first place that I wanted to see in Germany was Wiesbaden. I don't know whether or not you've ever seen Wiesbaden before, but
Elvis's baby needs a beer.
my girlfriend was with me, and we went to a place to get something to eat. And a waitress there asked me what we'd like to have. And I said, I don't know,
You put me
really.
to sleep, Elvis.
What would you suggest? And she stood still. She just kept staring at me, and I started getting very nervous. At the time...
So we're 36 minutes in out of a 47-minute video, and all we got was some stupid picture at Graceland.
I had a beard, and I lost a few pounds. And I thought it would be very, very hard for anyone to recognize me. And then she asked me if I'd ever been to Germany in the past. And then I got more nervous. But she said, you know, I never forget a face. And then she said, I don't know how you did it. And she said, I don't care how you did it. She said, I just hope that you're as happy as you've made me tonight.
If this tape was indeed Elvis Presley, it would mean that Elvis had gone back to Germany, the same place where he served in the U.S. Army back in 1958.
Pillhead, that's right. Well, he is a fucking pillhead, man. He just sucked all the energy out. Did you just send Elvis right to the front? To the front. Go get him, Elvis! You know, Elvis didn't do jack shit in the military. Elvis was killed 15 minutes after joining the front.
After writing numerous articles and books, Gail is encouraged by her readers' reactions.
On balance, very, very positive.
Who the fuck
It's just
cares?
One more piece.
Who cares about her and her dumb book? It's not even about Elvis. It's an Elvis-like character.
Incredibly complex mosaic.
Oh, man.
It's impossible, totally impossible to digest all of this information. You could do a 10-hour documentary. It wouldn't be long enough. I mean, there's tapes, pictures, phone calls, handwritten letters, the government connection, FBI papers. You know, you could just go on and on and on. There's so much. You know, it is mind-boggling, but sometimes it disturbs me because there are critics out there that won't even take the time to look at all this evidence. If my critics would come to my office and spend a couple of years, there's no way they could leave that office and not ask the question, is Elvis alive? When Ross Schaefer of Late Night conducted
No proof, no nothing. Yeah, I mean, I have all this paperwork and stuff. I mean, I didn't bring it for this documentary or anything, but you just trust me. Come to my office. You don't have a fucking office. There's no office to go to.
Poll.
Come to my booth at Denny's. I'll show you all you need to know.
He conducted a poll and received 30.
All right, before I show you, you have to finish my series of clues. And you have to do the little maze that the kids have to do on the back of the Denny's placemats. If you can complete this maze.
1,000 phone calls on the question, do you believe Elvis Presley is alive? And after their viewers had seen just some of the evidence, he was shocked, stunned to report that 84% of the people believed Elvis Presley was alive. Now that's been the reaction of every poll that has been conducted.
I want proof!
When
I don't want
evidence
yap!
Is shown. This is the numbers. 84% do believe Elvis Presley.
I don't care what people believe. I want evidence. People believe a lot of stupid shit.
Is alive.
Another piece of the puzzle occurred in the form of a phone call Gail Giorgio received late one night.
On October 10th,
Okay, did you record this call? No? Then why are we talking about it?
1988, between 2:30 and 3 a.m. in the morning, I received a telephone call from a man who identified himself as Elvis Presley. And although my equipment was...
You just took his word for it, huh? Hey, it's me, Elvis. Hey, lady, it's me, Elvis. I just want to say I'm still alive, but I'm having a great time. Bye.
Very, very bad.
It sounds like Elvis.
The call.
Oh, she recorded it.
Okay.
That's Ozzy Osbourne.
Well,
I know they can be very cool. It's even worse. I thought they were cool with me when I was a kid, but compared to today, they were nice back then.
Yeah, I know.
Well, they're very cool.
Well, you may have to help me out because a lot of people are...
But don't you worry, I mean, people like you and the whole people, you'll have a lot in your life.
I know, I'm going to have...
And I can sit back here, but you can sit there and say, well, I wish that was true. So I can sit back and say, I know it's true.
Guy's trying too hard to sound like Elvis with the... I mean, Elvis could speak.
I know what's going to happen. All right, man, it's very nice talking with you, and I hope we'll...
Get out of here with this.
writing career and everything.
Well, thank you.
God bless you. Great.
Okay. You too.
I should have Baba Booied her.
That's true.
Whatever card he deals us, we're going to have to play it.
That's right.
So God bless you.
All right, okay. If Elvis was faking his own death, why would he call the fucking lady who's trying to prove that he's still alive? Makes no fucking sense. That's like the worst person you could call. Oh man, I've been trying to fake my own death. Better call the lady who's investigating me.
Well, thank you.
Excuse me, Elvestigating me.
Is Elvis really still alive? There seems to be enough evidence indicating he could be. Elvis's handwriting appears to be on his own death certificate. There are questions regarding Elvis's body from not only fans, but his own cousin as well. So whose body was in Elvis's coffin?
I don't know, probably some just some random drunk.
Autopsy reports and official investigations into Elvis's death seem to pose more questions than answers. Elvis's grave placement itself is questionable. He has allegedly been photographed.
Why is the grave location questionable? What? What, when he really dies, they're going to change the grave order? That doesn't even make sense.
On at least 3 separate occasions after the date he was supposed to have died. Just prior to his reported death, he cashed in 2 life insurance policies. A third policy has still never been collected by any of his heirs. Is this because they know he's alive and wish to avoid insurance fraud? A checking account with $1 million, some cars, jewelry, and a private jet plane, all vanished, either just prior to or just after.
Yeah,
Elvis's
because the fucking sniffers cleaned him out. They knew it. Now, see, I can believe the sniffers killed him. Like, we're going to kill him next week, so just take everything.
Elvis had gotten a drug enforcement agency badge and allowed a government agent to pose as a member of his band between 1974 and 1976. Did his involvement with the DEA force the king to hoax his own death? Monty Nicholson believes this theory makes the most sense.
In an effort to help someone...
Yeah, but Monty Nichols also enjoys going to autopsies, dude. I don't know if this is a good judge.
One close to him who may have been involved in drug trafficking.
Yeah, all that says is that someone knew he was going to die. You know what I mean?
Elvis might have become a victim of extortion himself. Extortion is a common thread that binds all of the FBI reports we've seen. And it's very possible, were Elvis a witness for any drug enforcement agency, it would be...
My favorite part of the autopsy is when they pull the brain out of the skull and measure it. I think that's pretty neat. I like where they pull the brain out and then they put it back in. But it never goes back in the same way. It's crazy.
Necessary to protect him afterwards.
But if Elvis is a part of the federal witness protection program, neither Nicholson nor another Elvis researcher, Paul Bishop, will say. Bishop, a 14-year Los Angeles Police Department veteran, will say only this.
Well, we know that Elvis had numerous contacts with the Drug Enforcement Agency on a positive basis, and that he was
they probably brought him his drugs. Elvis was a known junkie.
Pro law enforcement, and that he had always offered his help for whatever their needs may be. As to whether or not he...
I'll do some mental gymnastics.
Now, part of the Federal Witness Protection Act.
Yeah, they'll go, oh, but he sold all of his bank accounts and his life insurance was cashed in a week before he died. He must have faked his death. No, someone knew he was going to die. That makes more fucking sense.
Program is something that even if I knew the answer to, I wouldn't tell you if he was indeed involved in the program, because it would totally negate anything that's being done to protect the man.
It has been over 13 years since Elvis's reported death, and still too many questions remain unanswered for too many people. The Elvis files have yet to be closed.
Confidential. You guys showed
Hear
nothing.
the evidence. Listen to Elvis's 1988 phone call. Earlier in this video, you heard part of the October 10th,
I ain't listening to all this.
1988 telephone conversation.
I ain't listening to this boring ass
Gail
shit.
Brewer Giorgio and Elvis. Now you can hear more of the conversation. And
but I gotta pay for it. I gotta pay for this call.
For yourself if it really is the king. Just dial 1-900-988-ELVIS. Call now. Listen to Elvis speaking with Gail. Ask any question of Gail. Leave an opinion on the mysterious revelations regarding the king's
come on. What a scam.
death. Also,
what
hear
a fucking scam. Well, Sussman. Sherry Sussman. No, I ain't calling it. Oh man, what a crock of shit. That was the worst one. The first one Watching Bill Bixby eat his own balls was probably one of the greatest things I've ever seen. You just tell in the back of his mind, he's like, my career's fucking over. I'm done. I'm fucking done. That was awful. And the whole thing a scam at the end. You gotta be fucking kidding me. You can listen to the call for $2 a minute. You can't beat a Baba Booey. No, you can't. Yeah. Yeah, listen to this fake call. Alright. Alright, enough. Hanford! You little shit! Get the lights! Hanford? I said the lights. Oh, Hanford. I told you to stop drinking. Thank you, Hanford. All right, guys. That was awful. Funny, but awful. 3 hours of pure crepe. Hey, I'll see you Friday or something, everybody. Brr.
The dark side is always there, waiting for us to enter, waiting to enter us. Until next time, try to enjoy the daylight.